boom, boom. See, there should be some music there to do that. Boom, boom.
What, like Law and the Order?
No, not the.
Because it crosses over with everything?
No, that's chung chung. I'm saying boom, boom. Ominous music to back up the fact that we have a huge event going on tonight.
Yeah, we do?
Yes, the creation
I'm
of the
not
multiverse, the collision of two worlds, the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen.
If I knew it was going to be that kind of party, I would have put my...
I want to advertise everywhere. and the Geek Bombast crew.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Here.
Well, this should be fun.
And the Fabulous League Studios in lovely Burbank, California, by way of Austin, Texas.
So from the top of the Frostbank Tower in downtown Austin.
Thank you, Kat. So welcome to the latest episode of the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen. Your host, Leon, here. Also my right-hand man, Mr. Cyrus.
Hello.
And looking to my right,
Grant.
Left,
Harris.
And over on the other side of the room,
Lefter.
Is Kat.
Thank you, Kat. Hey, guys, we're excited about tonight's show because we have guests. We have the Geek Bombast guys who are going to be coming up later in the show because whenever I tell you like what the show's going to be about, that ain't coming for a while. You know that, right?
Yeah,
everybody knows that.
We're going to go around and beat around the bush and beat around that bush and beat around some tertiary bushes around that bush.
Most people call that foreplay.
You know what? We need to do like the new Robin Hood movie and say this is what it's going to be about and don't have it be that until the last 10 minutes.
What? Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like this is the League. We just go back and it's just you and me.
Did you just... Did you just spoil that movie for us?
No, that movie spoiled itself.
Yeah, here's a spoiler. It stinks.
Color me shocked, says the medieval historian.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing it so that I can criticize it the way
you are in for the most trouble of anyone.
Yes.
Because I didn't.
You won't make it.
Yeah, I'm not that guy, but a guy who is like that, Alan Porter, was there, who's been on the podcast before. And, I was like, wow, it's annoying how much they felt like they had to sandwich in all these things. Look, it's real. It's realistic. It's this time. There are rats on the dinner table and no one cares. And you're like, okay, this is really getting old and kind of grossing me out. And I was like, I assumed it was all real. But Alan was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It's so, oh, my God. It's like, yes, they did this. But then they have the long ships from Saving Private Ryan. And what the fuck?
Yeah. It's the kind of thing when you see them come in those ships, you go like, well, I don't know everything about the medieval period. Maybe they had those. And Alan, who is a Brit, and I assume I'm a historian of some sort, was like, no, fuck no.
What? Just
then
because
when
he's
the
a Brit?
fire-breathing dragons came out, you're like, wait a second.
I would have to see said ships in order to tell you whether or not
I'm looking forward to Kat seeing this from a very long distance because I know that at some point my friends are going to look up and go, what the hell was that? It sounded like the scream of ultimate suffering.
Yeah. It does get painful, but at times, I mean, watching any movie that's set in the Middle Ages.
King Arthur or anyone?
Yeah. That one shouldn't have been called King Arthur.
No.
It should have been called anything else.
Like, no, that's not true to the true story of Robin Hood.
No, because my thing is that it's any primary source, movie, book, manuscript, is representative of the time in which it is created, not the time that it is written about. So, to me, it's their intent. If they're trying to make this historically accurate and they miserably fail, then I'm going to be horribly upset at them.
Then you're going to be horribly upset.
Okay, we're warning you ahead of time.
I can sum up this entire movie with a line from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they go, hey, look, he's a king. How do you know he's a king? Oh, he's not all covered in shit. Pretty much that's this movie. Everybody in this movie, except for the king, is covered with poop the entire film. They really are. So it's in their fingernails. It's on their skin.
They've subscribed to the Middle Ages are the Dark Ages, where everything is horrible and nasty and dirty,
like, this is
and there's no progress.
There's no romanticism. You do know Robin Hood was made up, right? Do I really need this level of grit and ugliness? I mean, the Sheriff of Gothingham standing there in the background disapprovingly. Just come on, this is just dumb.
Well, honestly, the worst thing about it is that the movie tells you it's Robin Hood, so you think you're seeing the story of Robin Hood, and you're not. You're seeing the story of Robin. Longslide? What was his name?
Robin of
Locksley?
No. That's the
the guy.
Assumed.
The identity.
Robin Longstride. Robin Longstride. And it isn't until
it's Catch Me If You Can, honestly, set in the Middle Ages.
It's the prequel. What it is, it's a prequel, and prequels suck.
But
all
he's
of them across the
old.
board.
So I thought that it was
Yeah.
like supposed to be.
Well, in the next
okay.
movie, he'll be Sean Connery.
Yeah, right.
And
There's
that
a big skip in
might go a
time.
long way to improving things because Sean Connery tends to improve.
Here's the
stuff
joke.
by
They
his-
already made that movie.
Exactly.
You can't help but think as you're watching this of Patton Oswalt's joke about the Star Wars prequels where he's saying like talking to George Lucas and going, oh man, I love the Star Wars movies. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. I'm putting out a new Star Wars film. Yeah, it's gonna have Darth Vader in it. Yeah, except he's a little kid. Oh. it's like, no, don't worry, it'll be great. In fact, why don't you come over to my house and have some ice cream? I'll make it for you. Yeah? Yeah. Here's a bag of rock salt. and it really, I kept thinking that through it. I was like, this is so fucking boring.
That's
Who
all I kept
gives
thinking was
a
like,
shit?
this is so boring. It's so long. When are we gonna get to the Robin Hood parts? And by the 2-hour mark, I'm like, I don't know how much longer this is gonna go till we get to see him as Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood, fun, trick arrows, lots of camaraderie, all missing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that. I mean, I don't want to see anything about Robin Hood. I don't even want to read Green Arrow anymore.
But you know what?
I'm just done.
Our review of this will be coming out on the same day this will, so we might as well skip ahead to something else. at this
True,
point.
true. It's just, segue.
We're still angry.
Clearly.
Yeah, you guys just don't know.
You guys went through some trauma. It's okay.
Maybe a bit.
So what happened to you guys this last week? Something interesting. Come on, bring it up.
Well, hell, I sent you a list.
I'm not interested in your list. That's something interesting that happened to other people. I mean, you guys personally.
Well, I'll tell you this. Justified is just as good as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Damn, that's a good show. Timothy Olyphant, who's like one of the coolest guys working today. I mean, he is the man's man right now. He's the new Clint Eastwood as far as I'm concerned.
All right, yeah, slow your roll.
No, dude, that guy is badass. He's got that thing, that weird facial thing when he
That
looks at you and he doesn't
bug-eyed
say anything,
American Gothic
but you know
quality.
that
I
not
don't
only
know.
are you gonna like die, but it's not gonna be pretty. He is gonna fuck you up, and people are going to laugh about it for weeks after.
Now, I know back on Deadwood, which I love, but there was a lot of episodes where he just walked around huffing and puffing with that dead-eyed look on his face, but he didn't actually do anything to anybody.
No, he does stuff to people here. It's one of those things, like, it's such a wonderful tribute to the Western while still being very much in a modern day. I mean,
And
like,
it's Elmore Leonard, right?
he's the executive producer, and it's
Okay, 'cause
based
he's
on,
all about that kind
It's
of
based on a short story that he wrote. So, it's just really engaging. And at first you're like, okay, this is very episodic, but it's such a good character and it's such a neat setup. I mean, right off the bat, it starts with him telling a guy, sitting down with him at a table at Miami. And you're like the guy with a cowboy hat, for one thing, in
Miami?
I know. But he's sitting down with a guy at the table going like, I told you had one day, 24 hours to leave town and you're still here. He's like, come on, you didn't really mean that way. Like, you're going to kill me? You can't just kill me. And he's just staring at him. It's like, wait a minute, what is this, some cowboy? This is ridiculous. And he's just staring at him. It's like, what? He pulls a gun, bang, he's dead. And you're like, okay, that was awesome. On the right note. And the show is kind of defined by that. As a guy whose mentality is kind of like this sense of honor, a sense of the way things used to be in some mythological sense. Obviously not really.
You can make a character who's the biggest douchebag, but if he has some code of honor that he sticks to, something he always does, the audience will go with it.
See, the thing is,
Because we want people like that.
he's not an anti-hero. He's a flawed hero, and there is a difference, definitely.
Okay.
And he's just eminently likable as hell. And in the last couple episodes, it's really stepped up a lot in bringing a storyline in. Plus, it's got Walton Goggins from The Shield as. He's not really
He's gotta
the
be a bad
villain.
guy, right?
Well, he starts as a villain, and now he's like, you don't really know what he is.
Really?
He's kind of like this. Obviously, their
No,
relationship.
he's straight up a villain.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say.
Because you had me sold for a second.
No, he went
but then
from
Harris
like
just dropped the name below it.
old friend who had turned evil, and the good guy, basically our hero, beats him, but now he's like totally reformed, super born again Christian, which for my book, I'm just like, go ahead and shoot him again. But he's faking. It's bullshit. You can't see that. But hey.
Okay, I was wondering how they're going to keep him on the show. So
Yeah.
because I saw the end of the first episode.
Okay. Now you should go and watch that show. It's excellent. I give it. It's on FX. Fuck, man. Pretty much everything on FX.
All right, dude, but you got to watch Breaking Bad. You're pissing me off.
Well, I watched all the way to halfway through the
You
second
have
season.
to watch Breaking Bad.
All right, fine.
All right.
We
win.
like I said, the
Victory.
season it had a slow start, but now it's kicked in a high gear. They had an episode that blew me away.
I give. I'll go back and I will make a point of catching up.
Although that episode that was so awesome, if we may segue into discussing a little bit of Breaking Bad, Don't
And
you
now
feel
I know
that?
how the Lost with Grant haters feel.
Oh
No,
No.
don't you feel that Breaking Bad is so great because it so sticks to science and pragmatism and they really try and follow, it's true to how things really are, and then occasionally they throw in a Deus Ex Machina in scenes like the end of season 2, and
which I don't
in
know
that
what
episode
happened. So.
there was a huge one, and the one that you're talking about that was so great that just, I mean, it's like, okay, I guess chance makes
the dude
things
with the
very
place and the
interesting.
thing where that happened. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Grant, like you have to be so vague about this, it's not even worth discussing.
Fair enough.
I mean, if I didn't know better, I would swear you were segueing into Lost with Grant,
See,
and it's not time for that
You
yet.
scare me with Deus Ex Machina because that's a thing that 1 out of every 50 times works, and the rest of them you're just like, wow, that was really irritating. Here's something
Well,
that had nothing to do with the story.
One
that came
out
in
of
to save
don't
the
one
day.
out of 2 is good.
All right,
in
fair
Breaking
enough.
Bad.
All right, since none of you guys had anything interesting happen.
What? You
I can
haven't even had
I
a
can
chance
tell you
yet.
how pissed I am at Time Warner
Yeah.
for changing for quote upgrading to this digital navigator bullshit.
We're all pissed with
and,
that.
and lost me like
Oh, I use an
know,
independent
3
company
or
called
5
Grande.
episodes of various shows
Taco
that
Grande?
I'm
Yeah.
I've been watching Deadwood this week, so I too am loving the Timothy Olyphant. But
Yeah, he's good.
yeah, it's exciting.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm caught up with Glee, and apparently I'm just a teenage girl.
You were supposed wait you didn't erase him, did you?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, somebody's not going to have a pleasant sleep tonight on the couch.
Does it help if I was right about when they'd get down to using Jesse's girl?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right, so Cyrus, you got some news that you uncovered today?
Well, yeah, I sent you the link so I didn't have to have it. What the hell?
Oh, dude, I totally thought that was like, hey, here's some news that I want to talk about, and you can read it too.
I sent it to you so you could pick and choose what we could talk about.
Mom,
'Cause you're
what the hell is going
the
on here?
Oh,
You're the man. No, I
This
can
is
look
as
at
awkward as when I tried to bring up Breaking Bad a couple minutes.
or the time you walked in on us having sex.
Remember how I brought it up and then realized I'm ignoring what you said?
To be honest, that
plowing
made it
forward?
much hotter on my part. I can look it up. Just like,
well, okay.
Doggy paddle for a second.
While I
You
slip
bite
off
the
to
pillow
find
well.
something to scoop out the part of my brain that's going to remember that.
All right, one of the things you brought up was talking about the twins on the Transformers movies, the racially offensive. What were they? Skids and Mudflap.
I love
Oh, yeah.
those guys. Didn't you guys?
Really?
No, I didn't.
That's one of those sequels I didn't
I thought one
actually
was called
watch
Step and
because
the other
everybody
was
said it was
Fetch It.
horrible.
Uncle and Tom.
Yeah.
So I guess it's been a bunch of bouncing around about they're going to be in the movie, they're not going to be in the movie, and Transformers 3. I'm like, why anybody cares about seeing it, I don't know in the first place. But so Michael Bay came out with his own statement about like, no, I listened, I don't see what the big deal is, but you said don't have them, not going to have them. Then somebody spotted those 2 cars on the lot. So then it was like, oh, so they are going to be in there.
No, now they're going to be blatant racist Asian stereotypes.
Or they're just part of the scenery.
Or the Trade Federation.
We wouldn't want this to be illegal.
It's funny. Actually, a friend of mine in LA is Tyrese Gibson's manager, and he's been, saying, oh, we're all getting excited about Transformers 3, and I couldn't help it. I left a snarky message.
Oh,
Hold on,
what'd you say? What'd you do?
I was like, come on, man, really? It's like a Transformers 3? Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You want that name you just dropped back?
Did I?
He didn't say the guy's name.
I didn't say the guy's
Didn't say the
name.
guy's name.
Yeah. What am I, Carlisle here? I know one guy.
That's the first time you brought him up.
Exactly. But I want his guy to do good. I want him to do good. But still, come on, man. Like, worst geeky film series ever. Sorry. Yeah, terrible. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is better than the Transformers series.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't, and I'll
Their
still give you that. Now, another big thing that I wanted to bring up was this new crop of superhero movies. Oh, I'm sorry. Superhero porn movies.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the ones I
Yes.
sent you. Yeah.
Get your dicks out.
Now, apparently, like this Batman
now it's
Triple
just
X,
awkward.
the Batman Triple X porn that went out, or that they've only seen a trailer for that they're still working on.
Holy cum shot, Batman.
It's a huge success already.
Dude, that trailer is
looks
awesome. I want to see it. I mean, with my pants on.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is pretty good. Where we get to the sex? And it cuts off before you see anything.
But the thing is, you don't even care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even really get any implication there was sex in the trailer.
Yeah,
It's like,
you forget about it
this
after
looks
a
like
while.
a cool movie, and all of a sudden it's like, and it's porn.
Well,
Why
they-
Vivid?
They spent a lot of time and money apparently actually getting the real stuff from the old TV show
Yeah.
because the guy producing it is a big fan of the original 60s television show.
Right.
It's the actual Batmobile they're driving.
Well, that's the
Holy
thing.
crap.
It's like, superhero movies make tons of money, and the only thing that stops them from making tens of tons of money is, sex, nudity.
Yeah.
So these guys just like, hey, why don't we capitalize on all of it?
They're groundbreakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, amongst other things.
amongst other things.
They are heroes among men.
It's true. But what is it? Now they're saying, okay, so the movie's not even out yet. And
Please, God,
everyone
Wonder
is
Woman bondage
already
film.
talking about it. I mean, hell, I might actually just go to a porn store and buy it. I'm like, I'd be proud to have that on my shelf, even if it's shit, just because the trailer was that good.
Well, the beauty of it is you could have it, and if you cover up a certain part of it, people would just think, oh, you bought a little comic book movie.
yeah, but I've got lots of those already. I want them to see it's the Batman porn film.
You
You're
put it
missing
out on
the
the
point
coffee
entirely.
table when people come to visit.
Hopefully they'll do a promo book for it, coffee table style. Like a big old oversized book.
Nice little Chip Kid cover to it.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
making of
Yeah.
special edition.
At
Man.
least they airbrushed out Catwoman's like C-section scars. So,
See,
happy
back
about
when
that.
I worked at a video game company and porn on CD-ROMs had just come out, me and a few guys had decided, hey, we'll go over to the news stand and get one of these and bring it back to the office and watch it. So we do. We come back, and it's the one with who's the guy who got his dick cut off?
John Bobbitt.
John Bobbitt. So we pop it in, and we're all watching it. And then suddenly my boss and his wife walk up and go like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they all turn white. But I'm at the computer with the mouse in my hand driving it. He's like, hey, what CD-ROM is that? Him and his wife pile in, and these guys all bailed. Just left me there. And I'm in the chair with the mouse, so
Left
I
you
can't.
holding your dick, as it were.
Pretty much. And they're like, oh, is this one of those porno? I'm like, oh, is it? I guess. Oops. Oh, man. I guess it's got a glitch and it just closed. Oh, well. I haven't seen it. I'm like, you guys are a bunch of assholes to do that to me.
For the record, nothing is weirder than watching porn with a bunch of other dudes. I don't even care if it's celebrity porn.
That
It's
is-
still awkward and
Yeah,
weird.
that is just one of the things that I have never quite understood why straight guys do it.
Yeah.
I think straight guys don't.
Well, quote, straight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Let's put it this way. Well, you can always trust straight guys, especially at, say, fraternities, to do some things that are just straight up gay.
Yeah.
Like the first fraternity day party I ever went to, when I wandered into a room and there was like 7 or 8 guys all watching porn and jerking off together.
What?
Yeah, they're all just sitting there. They've all got them out. They're just like, hey,
What?
dude, want a
It's
chair?
not gay.
No. All I can think is, like, later that must have looked like the dancing fountains in front of the Bellagio.
Jesus. There is an
Seriously,
image
dude, you had to take
that
it.
has ruined my
Brain
entire
bleach,
evening.
please.
I wish Bo was here so he could express more accurately, the way he tends to do, how much I want my brain removed,
Yes.
sent to the dry cleaners, and returned to me completely devoid of that thought. But just finishing up the thing on the actual porn
Sure.
thing, it's Vivid, which is like the biggest porn
Right.
company there is. So, it's like it's not some cheap half-assed one like most parody stuff is. Usually it's like,
Well, they're the same ones that did the Big
Yeah.
Lebowski porn parody.
yeah, which I'm another one I'm really
Again,
looking
what?
forward to.
Is
first
it
time I saw
done?
that
It's
trailer.
it's not done yet, but it's high-end porn parody.
First time I
Okay,
saw that
okay,
trailer,
that
I was
I
like,
gotta check out.
okay, the dude's looking a little different, but holy crap, this is porno.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where they went to all the original locations Big Lebowski was filmed at, and it's
Damn.
like, damn, they're actually spending a lot of money. These are people who love the original film, like deeply love it, and feel like it would be better with full penetration.
And really, how can you fault that logic?
But anyway, Vivid has said that they're going to do other DC, apparently other Marvel and DC A-listers, so you're going to be seeing more people, the article list that I'm reading here, which was from a great little website called Topless Robot, but they specifically list Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and it says Green Hornet.
One of these things is not like the other.
I know.
If that's true, you might get that good Thor movie that you've been wanting.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, finally get that line. Thor, I'm so Thor, I can hardly pitch.
Yeah, I want to see what he can do with that. See what he really can do with that mighty hammer.
My hammer has a hard handle.
Harrison so the Super Skrull that he's taking on the properties of you now. Say, right now when we need him to be Bo, he's just leeching off of you.
It's distressing.
And we don't need two of you.
It really is a little distressing. I feel like in any number of sci-fi television shows, that episode where one of the characters gets cloned and, of course it ends up in a fight.
Right. And I have to decide which one's the real one.
Exactly.
Grant, did you have something?
I mean, nothing really that much of interest, but I did read a story this week that was involving a guy who thwarted a robbery at a convenience store. This guy pulls a gun at the convenience store.
And last week you told us a story about a robbery being thwarted in a comic book store by Spider-Man, The Flash, and a couple of Jedis.
All these...
He's preparing for the new Grant segment after Lost.
All these heroes, these good Samaritans that step up and save the day.
I think they were inspired by Kick-Ass.
Yeah, it must be. But this guy... So this guy pulls a gun at a convenience store, and an elderly gentleman, about 60 years old... decides to grab a couple bottles of beer, and this is on a beer website that's like heralding use beer as a tool to thwart thieves. This guy goes up and he uses the 2 bottles of Yuengling beer, which is I guess a local New York beer, and he bashes the robber's head in. And
man, Yuengling is a good beer. It's a waste of beer.
Yeah, he smashes the 2 beers on his head.
But you're fighting crime.
Then the next sentence says, the thief proceeded to shoot the attacker 4 times before fleeing the scene.
So he really is inspired by Kick-Ass.
And then the next sentence is like, so using beer bottles saved the day. I'm like, wait a second.
How did that?
Did the thief just shoot that guy though 4 times?
Robbery foiler.
Yeah, right.
Not doing so well.
Killing with 4 bullet shot wounds.
Yeah, the grand theft was thwarted. However, the murder that proceeded without a hitch.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rewriting of that article to make it more positive. Where like they found that like this hero had a lot of metal in him.
God rest his soul.
It was a dinky little beer website, so I doubt they care too much. But I read it and I was like, wait, what the hell?
Iron Man saves day.
By flying down and getting everyone else shot.
No, by being full of iron after it was over. Sorry. I know. Come on. I even apologize for that one.
You should.
Oh, no. I'm going to let him drown on that one.
It'll be you soon,
Cyrus,
Harris.
will you?
Okay.
Maybe we should go to Lost.
I think we should. Kat, you want to sing us in?
Lost with Grant.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of Lost with Grant.
That was lovely, by the way, Kat.
I know.
Thank you.
I love when you do that.
And Leog will be doing its own porn parody of Kat's Lost with Grant, featuring what?
Porn
Harris,
with
I'm waiting for your growl. It's not the same without your growl.
I'm sorry. I was trying to glare audibly.
Oh, sorry.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, guys, allow me, since we have people who are unfamiliar with Lost but might still want to listen to this segment, allow me to explain a little background of what the episode entails. There are 2 characters in Lost, Jacob and the Smoke Monster, who are mysterious beings that seem to have always lived on the island that the castaways from Lost have been stranded on. And one is this omnipotent god type being named Jacob, who is able to that everyone reveres and is able to help touch people and enlighten them and make them candidates that
Catholic priest
could take over. He's got the touch. He's got the power. Anyway, he's able to bring people that are candidates to the island, and they feel that they might have a bigger destiny because of this. The smoke monster is this
Batman.
Reason that a lot of people have complained early on about Lost. It's this flying bit of smoke that is a menace and kills people and torments them. And
Well, when you describe it like that, it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
and is able to
sound like-
shapeshift and look like people that have died on the
You
island.
sound like one of those fanatical secondhand smoke assholes.
Sorry.
That is gonna kill me. You're cancer. Shut up.
So this
political,
episode
sorry.
goes into the backstory of these two characters, Jacob and the Smoke Monster. You don't really need to know anything about the other characters for this episode, but the episode explains all this mythos behind these characters, and this episode was probably the most polarizing episode I think that has ever been on Lost.
Oh yeah, it was.
And by that,
hell yeah.
and by that, I think you mean that this was the first episode that I say like, wow, this episode sucked.
Really?
Yes.
Are you willing to say
Leon
I absolutely
hated this
I mean,
episode.
to me, like you and I, we recorded our review and we were both saying like, man, Lost is coming down to the point where they got plenty of time to answer all the questions, and I'm not worried about the end. And after watching that episode, I'm like, okay, now I'm worried about how they're going to end this.
I'm strongly of the opinion, well, maybe not strongly, but at least halfway of the opinion that this is just the one last big trick to throw us off before they get to the answer. I mean, they've said all along that everything is scientific that's going on, that there will be a scientific, at least like, physics, quantum physics
Sure, I can
related
understand
answer
that
for
based
stuff.
on this, that
And
these
this-
people are just too ignorant to understand the science behind what they're
Well, that's what I'm saying.
believing
Is
is mystery.
there is nothing that happens in this episode that goes past anything we've seen before,
But
or that denies anything
There
that could make
was
it be a
that one
scientific
moment where it really
explanation.
was magnets. How the fuck do they work?
I know.
I know. There was.
But
That
at the
is pretty
same-
funny.
That would've
but
been
at
good
the
to
same time, we get that like Jacob or the smoke monster, for lack of before
Which
he's a
they don't
smoke
name
monster.
him. I'm sorry,
no,
there's two
no,
kids
they
and
never,
40 years old. You don't
it's-
ever give them a
They've
name.
actually
okay,
said.
no.
don't give him a name
It's-
because
Yeah.
he's a blank slate for us
We
to project
just-
whatever we want on
Well,
him.
Yeah,
we don't
but
know
I just
why
don't
they're not giving
know
him a
what
name.
They
his
are
name
assholes
is.
for messing with us once again with that.
I
Yeah.
They
really-
purposely go.
Honestly,
I don't
to
see
me,
the
it
big
feels
deal.
like
One
okay,
name
we're
to
coming
give.
down to the wire. You don't, wait till you get to this point in the game to throw an episode like
The
this. in
only-
there. And the dialogue was horrible.
The one thing I'll say about this episode is you could have done the entire thing in 10 minutes of another
Yes.
episode.
Yeah.
See, okay, that was my point. I was saying this to Grant earlier. Was like you could take the best of the bits of this week's episode and weave it into another episode, and it'd be fine.
Made me think that like those guys are trying to get Alice and Jamie to be in their new show or something, like
Or
whatever they're doing next.
Just tell
You
a
know.
hell of a lot more of the story than you told us in an hour.
I mean,
so-
it's Wolverine all over again. Where like, wow, these characters were so much more interesting when I didn't know anything about them.
I see. I just didn't think this revealed all that much. I was like, okay,
That's the
It gave
that's
us
the
a
problem.
narrative.
yeah, but you're saying it. You just said that you liked him better when you didn't know that much. Well, honestly, you still don't know that.
But what it
anything
showed
more.
was that they were very simplistic hicks.
Lost babies.
I mean, that's all fine. The biggest problem is that Lost was inconsistent with this episode in their character dialogue and their characters' motivations, their whole backstory. It was just sloppy writing, and it was pandering to the audience in an almost insulting way with like some of their line delivery. And they employed a bunch of kid actors who were horrible in it, and it was just all around a pain to watch. I mean, you have these kids that are like saying, well, Jacob, I invented my game, but someday you may be able to invent your own game, and then you can make the rules. Winky, wink, wink, wink. And I was just like,
See, okay. What I liked about that though is that what are you saying? Because at this point, you have to filter everything
Yeah,
that's
there's-
said, every line through the context of what's going on right
From
now.
what
it
I've
felt
seen,
like every
they
single thing
dropped a lot of really subtle info that way.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Is like the truth here was in the details, like what was going on, and that's what I thought was interesting.
Lost too obsessively that I was just insulted.
I
by
thought
all
part of the
this.
goal of this one was to really set down the whole forget about this whole good and evil thing, because that's just a red herring, is what I really got from this episode. And I was surprised by how many people walked away with exactly the opposite. Like, oh, well, this is really about how it's all good versus evil. Really? What definitions of good and evil
No,
are
I've
you
heard
familiar
people being
with?
like, finally, this clarifies that it's purely like they're pulling some biblical stuff on us.
See, I didn't
Like,
see that at all.
I don't see
No,
that
there-
either.
I mean, there's just like the whole rest of the show, there are definitely elements of the Bible and mythology and all that stuff thrown in.
Yeah.
But by no means did this say, oh yeah, this is biblical. It didn't even come close to
mean,
that.
What I liked is Sorry, go on.
No,
I mean,
was
there's
gonna say,
Cain
if-
versus Abel, but you
If
know.
anything, it completely removed any thought, because I mean everybody's assumed up till this point that Jacob is the good guy and Smokey is the bad guy, and Jacob only has everybody's best interests at heart, and Smokey's just out to get off the island so that he can, you know, unleash the end of the world or whatever it is that's going to happen if he ever gets off. But instead, everything is just, they're both awash in shades of gray. Like neither of them
It
have
all boils down to two brothers who have mommy issues squabbling on an island and controlling like puppet masters the destiny of all these other human beings.
Well,
There's-
you're wildly oversimplifying it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's-
They wildly oversimplify.
No,
all I mean
no,
is
they
that's what
didn't.
this episode was kind of giving us. It's like,
Boy.
I thought there could have been so much more to their history. It could have shown
There is,
why
actually.
Jacob is able to understand all these and walk around like an omnipotent being, but instead all he does is bitch about his
What
and tattle
you're
to his mom on everything.
wrong? I hate to say this, you're looking at the wrong things. What they did was drop a whole lot of knowledge that we had to really be reading to pick up. First of all, now we know part of the reason why the Dharma Initiative was able to work on the island, because Smokey wanted them there. He made a big point that there were people who were basically proto-scientists in the clan that he was living with who were starting to explore the island and understand what's the story of the electromagnetic anomaly.
Yeah, and he, as far as he was concerned, that was the way for him to get off the island, was by working through these people.
That's why the Dharma Initiative was never, like, he didn't just go and wipe them out because he hates all humans.
But is it Jacob that brings him to the island, or is it Smokey?
Well, it seems to clarify the fact that Jacob is the one who organized the killing of the Dharma Corporation, not Smokey, because hell, they were on the same page.
Yeah.
Why would Smokey have wanted to do
And here's
that?
the other
Which
thing-
further confuses the whole good-bad issue.
Here's the
There
other
is
thing
no
that
good
you
or
ought to like,
bad.
especially with your love of Ben Linus. If you watch back on that, the treatment that Nameless, Unlock had with his mother
Unlock.
is exactly the same that Jacob did to Ben.
Yeah, there's
He
lots of that.
pushed him their mother, Allison Janney's character, pushed him away specifically so that he would get fed up and kill her, and so she could pass on her mantle to somebody else.
Well-
that is exactly what I think Jacob was doing with Ben, but the whole part about him having the choice, I think that Unlock, the Lochless monster, whatever you want to call him,
They
accelerated.
won't call him anything.
I think they accelerated. He accelerated things too far. He had Jacob killed before his plan was ready, and I think Jacob is the first person who's trying. He's not trying to win the game. He's trying to end it.
Yeah.
That's why this is the first time I think that there's going to be a new candidate, a new Jacob, who wasn't born on the island.
Okay, I just want to say what I like about this episode is it's a read between the lines episode. I really like that. It does provide a lot of information, but it's not it's not putting it right in front of you. You've got to listen real closely to everything everybody says, because we are at that point of the show that you've got to listen real closely to everything everybody says. It's the show that represents what Lost fans are supposed to love anyway. Super over analysis of every tiny thing that happens.
Yeah,
and this
absolutely.
is that
I'm
show
in
where
full agreement with you
everything
guys
on
on
here
all
that
of that.
happens is like that. The other thing I love about this episode is it's the last stage of a magic show. It really is. It's that last big trick before they pull the curtain away and show you the actual results of the whole magic show. It's like, this is the last thing to distract your attention. Look over here while we do this over here. I mean, I'm all but certain that that's what's
Cyrus,
going on.
I
with
pray
this.
to God who's not listening, but that you're right. I pray to Jacob that you're right.
Jacob?
Because I was furious when the show was over. I was
Yeah?
like, wow, that one was
I
terrible.
mean, I will say that no question this is the weakest episode.
I mean,
of this
just
season.
just quality wise,
Because they
really
could have really reduced this down to 10, 15 minutes.
just
and
they painted those characters so simplistic, and the dialogue was just it was the kind of dialogue that we always make fun of when people write this in movies or TV shows. And really, I mean, okay, I mean, I guess a lot of those little things, like you bring up a lot of good things that I didn't think about before. But the way they spent so much time going like, see, this is Adam and Eve. This is what those skeletons were. They harped on that. And I
That was a
like,
big problem.
Okay, enough already.
because the show has never done that.
cares?
The show has never gone like, let's flash back to a previous scene so that you know for sure how this ties. This is Lost. The fans know. You don't need to do
I read
that.
an interview with Darlton about why they did that. And the question was actually specifically asked,
I'm sorry,
You guys-
that was so cute.
It
You guys
was.
are
cute.
you guys are pandering in a way by, or it's almost insulting about how you tie those two together. Why'd you do that? And they're like, we know that people could draw their own conclusion, but we didn't want we're afraid in having this whole entire episode be only about people that we haven't devoted the entire 6 seasons to. That we wanted to still tie them in and remind people that this is about those characters and not just about Jacob and Smoke Monster.
Yeah, see-
So that's why they still wanted to have a piece of them still as a part of the episode.
I don't
Wait,
know.
wasn't the
I think
Richard
that's
Albert
what
they did.
episode, didn't that not tie in with anybody else?
It's
No,
too-
it tied in with them. It
it's-
started off in the beginning with them still on the beach.
And it ended with Hurley,
And Hurley
translating for his dead wife.
It's way too late to stop worrying about whether or not your episodes are standalone.
Yes.
Is all I'm saying. It really is. It's like, you know what? If you're watching the show at this point and you're like, I don't understand because I only started watching a few episodes ago, then you know what? That's your fault.
Well, that's
I'm
what that's
sorry.
that's the thing. It's like when we're coming down to the wire on like the big finale, you gotta like really plan on who you're gonna watch that with.
Yeah.
Because like no newbies allowed at whatever Lost party you're gonna be at.
It's
Anybody who'll be there to go like, okay, why is he doing that? It's
Yeah.
like you gotta leave.
Lost is almost entirely unique in a television show, although others have attempted it to a certain level, like Babylon 5, but it's the first show to really feel like it's just reading a book. I mean, like where it's just like if you haven't been reading,
Yes.
then you're not going to know what's going on and you really can't bitch.
Yeah, that's true. It's like you're in the last 10 pages of a novel and somebody's like, so what's been happening so far?
You're like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
This is why I invited Kristen to a fake party, and I was like, yeah, go ahead and show up there. It'll be cool. We're gonna watch
I
Lost.
understand why it's confusing for some people because television's never really been like this before. It's always been where it was relatively easy to catch
Right.
up. Lost isn't like that. It really is like picking up a book halfway through. People tell me, oh, I started watching halfway through the 3rd season. I mean, it's kind of lame that here I am 2 seasons later. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like, this is a fucking book.
Yeah.
You know, you got to treat it like that. You
So-
don't just pick it up halfway through.
So before we wrap this up, let me ask you guys, what is the cave? What is the Golden Light Cave to you guys?
Oh, what did Tarantino say was in the suitcase?
I know. I was gonna say. I think
It was
It's a
pretty much
MacGuffin.
that.
I think it was TV Without Pity. I think that whole thing where it was like, you know, yeah, they had. Well, at the very least, Tim Roth wants to know what's in the case. What's in the cave?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that what I
did
think
it?
it is?
That's kind of, for me, that's the least of my concerns is what's the glowing light in the cave. You know,
mean, that's
to me,
fine.
It's
I'm
not
just-
so
the
much
Eye of
about- it's-
Awa. Who gives a fuck?
I'm just curious because
Well, they made a big. You
a
know what?
body
I
goes
didn't give
into
a
it
fuck
and it
until
turns
they
into
made
the
a big
smoke
deal on it.
monster. And is Smoke Monster now the embodiment of that light that was formerly the island, and now Jacob has to protect everyone from the Smoke Monster, and it's no longer that cave, or does that cave still have that power?
Didn't the light stay though, or did
we
the light
still
go
saw
out
that
when
some
the
of the
smoke
light
monster?
pouring
there was
out
still
from
some
the
light
donkey
in the
wheel
cage.
when Ben pushed it and when Locke pushed it.
I will say, if this all ends up going Battlestar Galactica and the cave is just a metaphor for sodomy, I'm so out of here. I'm gonna sell all my sets.
I mean, shit. If this ends badly, we're gonna have to stop doing this show.
I know, right?
And we'll be like Patrick McGowan, where we gotta leave town.
Well, guys, here's something that really concerns me. The Damon and Carlton keep referencing that they love the ending to Sopranos,
Oh,
and
fuck.
they keep defending it.
Okay.
And when
The
they
worst
come
thing
into
ever.
conversations
Okay,
about their
don't
ending,
stop
All right, though.
believing.
But have you been following these guys' interviews all throughout the show?
Yeah.
Because these guys are the biggest practical jokers there are.
Yeah, that's
they
true, they
set up
are.
elaborate jokes. They lie flat out about stuff and then giggle about it later.
Do you
They
think-
are
Wait,
the
so
world's
was that a
biggest
lie
jokers.
when they
Just
said
because-
everything was gonna have a
Oh, hell
scientific
yes.
explanation?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you, this is gonna all end, and it's all gonna be it's gonna be
Stop-
St.
stop-
Elsewhere all
don't
over
say
again.
that. Stop it.
But you know what?
don't get to
say
I
that.
got a
Horrible
little scared this
practical
week
joke.
that sort of thing was going on because the farthest we can get back in the story as to, you know, what's going on with the island with the glowing cave and everything is their stepmother, I guess, for lack of a better term. The woman who killed their mother and took them. She's the one that she's the originator of all the information. And there's one point where a few episodes ago, Locke says, you know, about Aaron and Claire, you know, about Aaron, you know, Jacob had a crazy mother and now Aaron has a crazy mother.
Sure.
yeah.
And so I'm thinking, what, this now this is just, we're going on the word of like the crazy lady on the island again? Like, this is all the information we're getting from her. Are we taking that twist down, you know, St. Elsewhere Lane, that this is all the
No.
crazy lady
Okay,
made
you guys
this up?
don't get to mention St. Elsewhere.
No,
anymore.
this won't happen. I mean, This is a
I had
polarizing
never-
episode.
Even though St.
And-
Elsewhere tied into the X-Files, which tied into this, so technically this is all the dream of a coma patient.
I'm gonna like stop this right now.
I'm just saying.
Well, next week's episode is they're very cryptic with their preview didn't really show what it is. What's going to be happening? All we have to go off of is the title, which
yeah.
you're able to look up yourself.
Why
if
they
you want.
died. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be back next week.
All
I
right,
guess,
Grant.
for that.
You know I'm grooming you to take over this show.
What?
Oh yeah.
You don't get to make that decision.
You haven't noticed that? He's my protege.
Is Grant
And
the
he's
only
learning.
candidate?
Well,
The only candidate.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Kate. Oh, Cat.
Oh.
number 51.
You might want to look less towards Lost and more towards Shakespeare as to what might happen if you get that officially coveted position.
Well, I've actually been
should
sneaking
he beware the
microphones out of
Ides
your
of
house
March?
in my car.
All right, Cyrus. Well, I think it's time for one of your musical breaks, which are more popular than the show themselves.
It's kind of it surprises me as much as anyone. I feel like I should be doing a music show.
I know. You should DJ at thespill.com.
I know.
Okay, Cyrus, we're back. And now that we got rid of the dead weight, you and I can take a moment to crank things down a little bit.
Let's bring it down.
Let's bring it down.
How far down we bringing it?
A little bit further down than that.
I can feel it. Oh, sorry. Not that far
Ooh,
down.
okay. Up from that. But now we get to the crux of our show. We got a 2-point show, and 1 point is the Geek Bombast podcast guys who are here.
Yay.
Hello.
Welcome, Geek Bombast guys.
And
Yes.
you know what?
We need a better moniker than
Yeah.
Geek Bombast Guys. We need something catchier.
Crew, posse.
The bomb. I don't know.
I
I've
tried
got nothing.
Bombastiacs at once, but didn't
No,
sound
that's
right.
not good. That's
How
not
about
good.
Bombastians?
Now,
I don't
now
know,
for
I don't
anybody
like
who's
that.
listening, wait, who the hell are these guys? You know
It's
what?
just everybody.
You would think that Austin was a town that couldn't afford to have more than one geeky comic book related podcast.
There's
Well,
12.
But you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
12.
I was gonna say, it's like
Is that counting the ones that have died?
this is pretty much Geek Central, Austin, Texas, as near as I can tell. It is where we come to be born and die.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is that bright blue oasis in the big red state of Texas.
Yeah.
Now, we met you guys at Staple. Well, I honestly have been seeing your postcards at Austin Books for a while. So I've been curious, who are these guys?
Who
We
are
met
so
Rod.
good at promotion,
Yes.
better than us.
Met Rod there.
Well, that's because we don't have listeners yet, and you do. So
Oh.
we have to work at it.
So we're piggybacking on.
I gotta say, Rod, you're a good
successful
salesman.
thing.
Just talking to you that little bit at Staple, I'm like,
It's actually what
this
I
guy's
do.
all right.
So hopefully, I'm a good.
Is that
salesman.
right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
So if you guys don't mind, I'd like for you to introduce yourself. Over to my left.
I'm Mike Pruitt. I am the one who's mostly silent on the show and gets made fun of quite a bit.
he's like the guy with the horn in the Marx Brothers.
The
Oh,
Carl
Zeppo.
Pilkington.
Zeppo.
Yeah.
Zeppo. The Carl Pinky. Yeah.
Do you think of yourself as Zeppo?
It usually helps.
Do you play the piano and other instruments?
Don't play the piano. I play the drums. Learn to play the ukulele.
So what good are you then?
Whoa, ukulele? You play that?
I'm learning to play it.
You're learning.
Learning.
How
Yeah.
hard is it?
Pretty damn hard when you've never picked up a guitar.
Because I never picked it up, but lately I've had that hankering.
I kind of had
play
that
a tiny
urge,
instrument?
Yeah, to
That's-
play some instrument that will never get me laid.
It might actually prevent it.
Don't worry, from what I've heard, Activision is releasing Ukulele Hero next
Oh,
year.
of course, yeah. That seems the natural next step.
Well, I'm waiting to the
Yeah.
4th version before I actually pick the game.
Right, right, right.
But he's a drummer. I mean, come on. That's,
Oh, the drummer's gonna
wait,
die
no,
in
that's
5
actually
years.
worse.
I'm actually
Things
hoping
like
for
bust.
3 years. I've got like my life insurance policy will run out then.
When
Hey man, if you can get your hands on enough coke, you can do it in 3 years.
you know how you know when
I believe in you.
You know how you know when a drummer's at your front door? The knocks keep speeding up. Sorry.
Mike is our resident DC Comics guy. I think that's
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
right on.
probably
Yeah,
how
he's wearing a reverse
he's,
Flash t-shirt.
he's the most
Yes, he is.
diehard DC guy. I think.
Yes. He
of
also
the three
tends
of
to,
us.
out of the three of us, I think he watches the most TV, but not anything that's actually currently airing on
Yeah,
TV.
the most canceled television shows. He's our most canceled television show fan.
Hey,
as well.
those shows will one day come back. So
yeah,
you shut
I
up.
know.
Mike, are you into like old TV shows? Are you a amateur historian?
Jericho.
No, I'm talking old.
Firefly.
I like
No,
I
I'm
like
saying that's
older
what
I
you
like older
Jericho.
TV
Oh, Jericho.
shows, but
Firefly,
if I get into a new
Dollhouse.
TV show, you can be guaranteed it's going to be canceled within a year.
Oh yeah, that's what I was warned about. We were all having a conversation earlier in the kitchen, the Leog Lounge sidebar, as it were,
Yes.
about
Probably atop
television.
Frost Tower.
Yeah, they're like, don't let Mike watch anything that you're into that's new, because he'll kill it just by nature of
Wait,
watching.
were you watching My Own Worst Enemy? Was that your fault?
No, I wasn't watching that, but let's
that was a lot of people's fault.
let's put it this way. I watched Dollhouse when it first came on, loved it. It died.
Yeah.
Jericho, loved it. It died. Firefly, loved it. It died.
Well, okay, now if we actually sit down and analyze it, one, Jericho died but came back, which
It did.
rare for shows to do.
Man, that was a show that fan support brought it back, and I
Yes.
never even
And
heard
now-
of it.
I
really-
actually supported that campaign.
I mean,
said-
Family Guy's the
yeah.
only other show I've ever heard of doing that.
Yeah,
Futurama.
Futurama now.
yeah, Futurama
Okay.
did too.
And the other two shows were Fox shows, so they were destined to die.
Yeah, it was Fox. They're lucky if they get past episode
Well, the other,
2.
well, okay. In all fairness, though, the other two were Fox shows and Joss Whedon shows, so
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
no chance in hell they were
yeah,
going to last.
yeah.
Well, apparently Joss Whedon is one of those guys, like there's like 7 television executives who really get what he does, and they start his shows, and then they go, oh, I got a better offer, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and then they
leave.
get fired or quit. Right,
Yeah,
right,
and,
right, right.
and then like the new guy's like, this guy sucks. I don't get what he's doing at all. Let's just kill this and move it to Friday nights or something.
See,
So-
here's my
Yeah.
thing. When I say the Avengers movies is going to happen with Joss Whedon directing it,
Yeah.
there you go. It's going to get canceled.
I mean, maybe it will. You have a point. I hand it to
There's that
you.
mystic aura about anything he
It's true.
touches.
It's totally true. There's a chance it may not happen.
If I was the kind of guy that was spiritual about stuff, I'd be worried.
Well, but see,
Luckily,
Joss
I'm
Whedon,
a
if he moves
rational.
all his stuff to the web, he'll do great. I mean,
Or the
Dr.
FX network.
Horrible.
Or the FX network.
Yeah.
Why did Dollhouse not go to FX? That
I-
boggles my mind.
Got me.
Anyway.
But anyway,
Because Fox still owned the copyright to it.
No.
No,
I mean, why didn't it
originally.
originally
Why
go
didn't
it
to?
go
Yeah, it should have been.
Battered
I know.
wife
He's
syndrome.
like a battered wife. He keeps
Yeah.
going back to that network, and you're like, dude, they're just gonna hit you again. And he's like,
No,
no,
no, no,
they
no.
really love me.
Yeah, they're
No,
going to be nice
really
this
love
time.
me.
They apologized and sent candy. All right, so next to Mike is John.
Yes, I'm John Sitton. Kind of I guess I'm the Cyrus of our show.
frightening.
He
I am
really
so
is.
sorry.
Yeah.
I
So
hope-
you're the
John's the
Mussolini of your show.
What?
Is what you said. I mean, I'm sorry. I meant the benevolent. You're the Cyrus.
Yeah.
I'm not the
Yeah.
leader of the Leog. I don't know what that's you.
You just
Dude,
make the trains run on time.
I'm just,
Yeah.
That's all
I'm
he's
just a
saying.
puppet ruler.
Okay, that's true.
Might as well call me Ernie or Bert. So anyway, so John, your role as a leader. What is it you do? And what's your area of expertise?
Expertise. I'm mostly a gamer. So
Ooh.
video games in general are my expertise, but I'm kind of in the middle as far as Marvel and DC comic wise. I kind of follow everything.
So when these two guys are going at it, you go, guys, don't fight.
Well, generally speaking, John's the one of the three of us that's read both of the comics that Mike and I
Yeah.
have read.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually am.
He's
reading-
the middle ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of the one person that kind of goes between, that actually gives them someone to talk against when they're giving a review or something on the show. And then I also structure the show, find the news items, and stuff
Mostly.
like that.
You
He
do
does
the lion's
kick
share of
in
the work.
openings, too.
Yes, I do.
He does the openings, yeah. The
And I
only
do the
thing we do,
intros
the only
of our
Oh
show.
yeah.
you guys do all that stuff here, like the Lost intro and all that stuff, most of that stuff that we do is done
With the exception
post.
of the actual intro, which
Yeah.
I do live on.
But the
on
real
record.
intro he does live.
We used
Everything
to-
else
I was
we
going to
do
compliment
post
you on it. I didn't know
afterwards.
which one of you guys did that.
Yeah,
That's John,
me, yeah.
definitely.
Sean.
We used to do a lot of stuff in post, and then
It's a lot of work.
I got really lazy.
Yeah,
well,
he did.
you'll notice if you listen to
Which is not a slam on you, I understand.
No, it turned into like a sort of thing like where I used to do this part time. I was like, oh, this is fun. I can hobby this a couple hours on the weekend. I can do this, and now it's my full time job. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time to spend 6 hours editing.
Yeah.
editing a podcast,
Well, it's like if
so.
you actually look at like the newest episode we just put up where we did our first book of the month review. If you actually listen to the intro to that, it's half-assed because I just didn't have time to make it, and I was like, I'll just choose this pre-recorded track from GarageBand's pre-recorded music stuff, and I'm not going to edit it at all.
Hey, that works.
I admit I was told, given some advice by someone from who knows a lot more than me about the internet, who said just go ahead and steal it and use that music for your middle tracks if you want to, and if somebody complains, just yank it when that happens and re-edit it with it out.
Well, I'm
like,
worst-
okay, so
I'm my own worst critic, so it's like as soon as I upload the episode online and listen to it again to make sure that it uploaded correctly, I immediately went, yeah, I wish I hadn't done that. Wish I had spent more time working on it.
what are the centers of your geek universe?
Like,
Games. Like you
Games.
said.
like video games, or mostly
Specifically,
like
What types of games do you like?
what type of games?
What name some specific games?
Well, I mean, I'm big. My favorite game of all time, obviously, is Max
Kingdom
Payne.
Hearts. Oh.
Really?
I'm a huge Max
Shocks
Payne.
me.
It
Max
shocks
Payne
me
1
too
and 2.
because I'm not a video game player, but that's my favorite game.
Yeah,
Really?
I am
I didn't know
a
that either.
huge fan of Max Payne, which is why I'm looking forward to Alan Wake, which is made by the same people.
No, Max Payne was, and 1 and 2 were groundbreaking, no question about
And
it.
I'm kind of not looking forward to Max Payne 3 because it's being made by a completely different team.
Yeah, well, we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
He liked
but-
Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah,
you were just
Assassin's
talking about was
Creed,
really
I
I
I've
love
heard good things
Assassin's
about
Creed
those,
too.
and-
Yeah.
I've got all 3 consoles, so I'm.
When we were watching Letters to Juliet, it takes place in Verona.
Yeah.
I spent the entire movie
Were you watching
going
that?
showing
Assassin's
show
Creed.
the whole
That was
because they kept
Assassin's
showing the
Creed.
like overviews of the city. It was like, dude, I totally climbed on top of the tower. There is a little bonus thing right behind the church bell. You just need to go back. I'm not even joking. I sat there the whole time thinking about you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I also I try to I cast a wide net on things that I like video games wise. I'm kind of all over the place.
He
I
really
don't
will
have,
play anything.
Yeah,
If it's a video game, he'll at least pick it up and play it.
I'll give it a try once, and I've reviewed some games, and I like bad games. Like one of my my secret, I guess, obsessions is old licensed video games. So if it's specifically comic book licensed video games, I'm talking like NES.
Wait,
I
aren't
swear
those
to God,
like
I saw
the worst games?
No, I swear to
Yes.
God, I saw. Was it Sega?
Okay.
You had the Aquaman game for? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now a friend gave me that as a joke, and that's actually the thing that started my love of these old games. Like they're horrible and they're horrible to play, but for whatever reason, I get some sick enjoyment out of it.
Wow, it's like Echo the Dolphin, but even
Echo the
gayer.
Dolphin.
Yeah. So it's like if it's comic book licensed video games, I probably know it, play it, or have it.
Wow. Okay. Well,
All right.
hell, we all gotta have our thing.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Oh, well, good. There's some video game questions coming up that
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
only you
Yeah,
can
maybe
answer.
when we do another video game episode, which should seriously happen, by the way.
I know everybody's bugging us about that.
I know it totally should, man. I'm finally playing games again
Is
now.
it your weak part of your geek domain? Is the video
For
games?
me, it is. But we did a huge video game episode. What about a year and some change? ago?
Yeah.
It's definitely my weakness. I don't.
Which was a big
9 times
episode.
out of 10, when John's talking about a video game on the show, I kind of glaze over because I have no idea what he's
Well,
talking
we have like people
Kinda glazed
like who are
over.
close friends of ours who are like big guys in the video game industry.
Sure.
You know, who we know well. Like we had one of the main guys from the new Star Wars online thing, and it was like, yeah, okay, well that's pretty cool. We
Yeah,
should totally
Knights
do
of the
it.
Republic,
We
yeah.
should totally do another video game.
You know,
episode.
he'd be up for it because I see him once a month, and he's like, "Hey, man, whenever you guys want to hang out or have
Was
me on
Paul.
again." Oh, you talking about Paul? I was
Yeah.
talking about Clint.
Oh, Clint too. Yeah. Well, they both work for that
Yeah.
company. but-
There's so many video game people they know.
Yeah, we actually do know a lot of people because there was this weird crossover because graphic art stuff of like what you and
Yeah.
Corey were doing and those guys. I mean,
Yeah,
all the
I mean,
comic
you know,
books and
I mean,
video
I mean-
games. As far as like day jobs, they were working for the same people.
Yeah, well, it's like I have a friend of ours who did the artwork on our website. Mike Youngbluth works for Raven Studios, and he also did comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of that, did he do the postcard and the banner?
Yeah.
So I want to ask that guy, who is the black guy on your crew? Because I look at at the caricatures of you guys, I'm like, all right, one of these guys on here is black. When I walk in and I don't see him here.
Which one's black?
What?
That's my question. I'm assuming.
No.
it's
Which
you.
one of the caricatures?
I'm
is
assuming
black?
it's yours.
I'm the only one. Was I the only one?
Yours
who
got
was
the
black?
Skinny one with the
Fu
Fu
mustache.
Manchu.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like I have a mustache, which we can't figure out. I think it's supposed to be the crease in my and the lines on my face, but it's because I don't ever sport a mustache.
Okay.
And
The,
much
the,
less
the
a
skin
Fu
tone's
Manchu.
darker and everything.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
You're a little Greek looking, maybe.
I'm Native American. I've got a
Are
little
you?
bit of color, but not
Someone?
much.
You
Okay.
ain't Native American.
No,
you said that
no.
to get into college.
No, absolutely not. No. My great grandmother was on that. My great grandmother walked the Trail of Tears. I have verified, certified. I could have totally got into a lot of great scholarships,
And you didn't because.
but I did not. I didn't.
Well, since
I'm
we're
in sales. I don't
hey
need
Rod,
college.
since
fair
we're
enough.
talking about you, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
hey,
It's
hi,
Rod's
I'm
turn.
Rod. I'm Rod Nunley. I am the sarcastic dick of the show.
Which is true.
Oh, you're the
Yeah,
Bo.
that
The
goes, yeah.
See, that's what I said. The catch.
That's why I was wanting Bo to be here.
I was
so
like,
badly.
Mike is the Grant, John is the Cyrus, and Rod is the.
I'm
know that Mike
definitely
is a
I'm
Grant.
definitely the Marvel
Maybe.
guy. I'm without a doubt the Marvel guy. of
You're
the group.
full on Marvel.
I try to recently. I try to buy a couple of DC comics, at least one, just because otherwise, because I just don't read them normally.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit more diverse to talk about, because otherwise I just buy Marvel all the time. And then I'm definitely the movie guy.
Okay.
I try to go to a lot of the
Okay.
sneak previews, and I go to movies all the time.
What was the last sneak preview you went to? Because we go to all of them.
Yeah,
Hot Tub
literally.
Time Machine.
Oh, where they had like
Well, there
three
was
of those.
no, shit, there's more than
yeah, but
three.
they had
I think
eight-
I was at
eight
the
of them.
second one.
Okay.
At the
So you may
Draft
not have seen the
House.
finished version.
That's right.
I did, because I ended up having to go back and see it again. So
Okay.
I did see the
All
finished version.
What'd you think of that?
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was very funny.
As a
Yeah.
fan of 80s movies and as an older guy who was around for a lot of those 80s movies the first time, there was a lot there to love. And
Yes.
how can you not love Crispin Glover in a movie who, I love seeing him not being completely weird.
Yes.
I like that. Because he's Willard, and then what was the other he made? He's done some really
Well,
strange
okay,
flicks.
he is a crazy guy. No
He
question
was-
about
No,
it.
he
was Grendel.
He's certifiably crazy.
and that's fine.
And weird. I
If
saw him on
he's-
Chelsea Handler.
Oh,
Like,
really?
a
What
couple
is-
of weeks ago,
what
the
is
Chelsea Lately, the E Network TV. My
Oh,
wife
sure,
watches
sure,
I
this
was
show.
just saying, that show horrible?
Of course it is. My wife, it's on E. My wife watches it, and he was on it, and they announced the guest, and I was like, well, we have to record this, and she's like, you don't like the show, and I'm like, we have to watch this. This guy is completely crazy.
something
what is he
so
doing on this
easily
show?
could go horribly
Yeah.
wrong
No,
that
and it
you're
was the
gonna
most-
want to own it.
It was the most awkward interview ever,
Yeah.
because she's very funny and and he's being weird, and she's the type of personality to kind of call him out on it. She's just like, well, you're just being completely weird.
Not even
Let's
call him out
move
on him, but probably encourage him
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go
So,
even weirder.
But I liked him being funny again and
Sure.
kind of quasi-normal,
Yeah.
which I like, because he's got a lot of good physical comedian aspects to him. I thought it was a fun movie.
I think
I thought the movie was
yeah.
very funny.
It's not great, but it's
I
fun.
didn't put it up there with the 40-year-old virgin of The Hangover, but I
No,
thought it was still
no,
very
no.
funny.
I was we
And
had
I'm
that
a sucker
argument.
for
We did.
time travel
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I am
I have
too.
a weakness for time travel stuff.
I have a weakness for time travel, and I have a weakness for meta. I
Yeah.
love meta stuff, and that's like the both. And I was like, okay, I love this. This is my favorite comedy in like 3 years. I thought it was funny.
So
I
you
like
are
the
watching
one.
Community, right?
yeah.
Oh God,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Who's
Don't
not
even
watching
get me
Shirley?
started on how great the last 2 episodes of Community
Yeah.
were, because damn.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, last week's episode could go down as one of the greatest episodes of any television
That,
show
was, that
ever.
was an
It's
episode
so
that was
good.
I was on Twitter and it was being so hyped up by everybody. And so when I sat down
Yeah.
to watch it, I'm like, yeah, I guess it's good, okay. And then within 10 minutes, I was like, oh my god, it's the greatest episode
Just as
ever.
good as they say.
Yeah.
It's
I literally rewatched it like an hour later.
No, it's
I
so
just,
good.
Like, put
Yeah.
it back on and wanted
it's
to see
so
it
good.
again.
It's the moonlighting taming of the shrew episode of this generation.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Wow. Good callback.
It really is.
That's nice. It's a good reference. If you dated
For-
For those of
No
you who are
one will
listening,
get.
for those of you who are listening that are young, Moonlighting was a television show in the 80s that had people in it that were
But
funny.
there really hasn't been a show with a moment like that specifically that was that type of humor since then that
Silly.
I can think of where I go, well, that's that sort of referential brilliance on a TV show that really achieved
And
that
it's really
level.
becoming Community's bread and butter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and well, they're finally realizing that's their strength,
Yeah.
as opposed to saying, well, we should do more what sitcoms are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, well,
Well,
maybe
and
we
the
should.
end bits with Troy and Abed,
Yeah.
that they've just now said, you know what, the last 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the show just belong to those two characters.
Yeah.
and they're always comedy gold. They're always so funny.
Except for that episode. It was like, wait,
it
what?
wasn't Troy
Jeff,
Abed.
it was the answering machine, and it was Jeff and Troy.
Yeah.
Abed wasn't in it.
Yeah, but it was one of those like, this has nothing to do with the rest
Nothing
of
to
the
do with the rest of
episode.
the episode,
It was very anticlimactic.
It's funny because like you watch the show and you're like, oh yeah, Abed, he's funny, but he's got Asperger's, so he's kind of a weirdo. But that thing he does where everything he references to movies
Or TV shows.
I realized like about a week ago, I was like, wait, I do that all the time.
Dude.
Except I use cartoons.
And you don't actually say it day to day, but you certainly think the exact same things he says.
No, that's the thing. I say it to people all the time. People will tell me a very deep personal story, and I go like, oh yeah, it's just like this episode of Flintstones, and blah, 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 blah. And I do it, and I'm like, I just did it again. My whole life, the way I relate to everyone is from cartoons.
And that's why we're the Leo.
So, okay, now, we assembled you guys together. How'd you come together? I'm curious about the origin of the Geek Bombast.
Oh.
Mike, do you want me to?
No, by all means,
we
start
started out,
because it kind of started before this show. There was
Yeah.
there was a former
It's
show
a
that will not
long,
be named.
drawn out process.
So I guess let me kind of start by saying Mike had a podcast called. Should we say the name? Do you want to?
Well, the original.
The original-
One? Yeah, the BSOD.
Paul's talking about the other one.
Oh, the other one. Oh, yeah.
Mike was big into the web podcasting thing. He was actually very early on in it, but I guess.
Yeah, it's like 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, and he did a podcast. A friend of mine who worked at a comic shop here in Austin basically said, "Hey, I'm part of this podcast. Would you like to come and sit down and watch?" I hadn't met Mike before. I didn't know Mike or anything like that.
Sure.
Went and sat down and just kind of was the studio audience. And kind of kept coming back, and then eventually I kind of got incorporated into the show. And then that kind of died
Yeah.
due to
These things happen.
As they
these
do.
things
Yeah.
happen. And I really enjoyed that podcast, and I was like, Mike, we have to. Like, I just became really good friends with Mike. I learned a lot of what I know about podcasting from Mike, and just went, we have to, do this. We have to start it up. And after a while, we finally got the ball rolling after a while, and I kind of realized that while me and Mike are entertaining, a lot of our opinions on things, specifically in the case of Green Lantern, are exactly the same.
Ooh,
And-
giant Green Lantern nerds.
Yeah, we're both
two biggest
huge
Green Lantern nerds.
You're
Green Lantern.
possibly
right place.
two of
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Green Lantern nerds I've ever met.
Yeah, so,
Welcome to OA.
So I realized it was kind of funny because I knew I wanted to get a third. We wanted to get a third person, but I didn't have an idea for anyone.
We need someone
And
who
so I posted
is
on,
clueless about Green Lantern.
Well, no, it's like
I'm pretty close to clueless about Green Lantern.
But I posted on the Brian Michael Bendis message board, Jinx World,
Yeah.
and basically said I was thinking about starting up a new podcast. This guy, Rod,
That's me.
messages me, PMs me on the board and says, I'm in. Where do I start? Where do I sign? I didn't even ask anyone to join part of it. He just goes, I'm in. And then like the next day, there's a Google group already created for the podcast. And I'm like,
I'm a big believer in Google groups.
and so
Hell
my,
yeah.
my
They're the
response,
best.
my response to it was like, man, this guy's got moxie. I like it. It's like
I have a
let's,
case of
we met up. We met up, and Mike and Rod seemed to get along pretty well, and we were like, all right, it's a show. Let's come up with a name, and
That's really it.
That's really.
It's not very
Then it took us
exciting.
like another month or two to come up with the name for the show.
It did take a while to come up with a name.
Who did? Who
was
said
kind
it?
of
It was a mixture.
combination-
We knew Mike knew John knew he wanted the word geek in it,
Yeah.
and he wanted to call
Originally, I
it
was going to call it
geek rhetoric,
geek rhetoric,
which
or
I
something.
hated.
Yeah, well, I just like the word rhetoric.
There's like
I
this
do too.
long email thread of different words to go with geek.
And I literally
The
just
hardest thing is coming up with a name.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Everybody
like
can agree on.
and I
we
think
just went through this recently ourselves with
Yeah.
another
well,
side
and
project.
The problem with rhetoric, I thought, was it's not.
Not a lot of people know what it means.
Well, not only
Well-
that, but also I think it can sound funny when you say
It
it.
sounds
You
kinda
really
douchey.
have to
Okay, well,
enunciate,
here's-
and
here's
that's
my
important. You want a
problem with
word
that
that
word.
you want a name that's really easy to remember and say, and that it's clear when you speak it. And bombast is a good word. It's got the two B's in it, and
it
it
means
just it sounds
it means
good.
the exact
Yeah.
same thing.
And
as
it
rhetoric.
literally has the exact same meaning as rhetoric. So
The problem I've always had with rhetoric is like I've always been like, wait, is that like rhetoric as in rhetorical, or is that rhetoric as in redirect? Like rhetoric.
well, and rhetoric almost sounds negative. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got kind of to me, it's kind of a negative connotation to it.
Yeah, it does
And
have that, yeah.
bombast is more kind of upbeat, peppy, and yeah. So it was a
You know what?
combination.
You say bombast, and you can see that in your head.
Even though nobody uses that word anymore
Plus,
ever.
well, and what's funny is I recently discovered that Jack Kirby even did a comic book called something Bombast, which I was just like, oh, that's
Well, of course
cool.
he did. He was a visionary. Like
Rhetoric is one of those words, like rhetoric by itself is like a word that has negative connotations,
Yeah.
and yet rhetorical is so fun to say and use
Yes.
in conversation. So
When I thought we were going to be just doing a comic book show, I was thinking about throwing around the idea of calling it comic book rhetoric, which is basically just, basically being rhetorical about comic books. A bunch of people basically saying that their opinion is the right one, and
yeah.
But it didn't really work when we decided to do more than comics and just be geeks.
See, and I think you can't do. And my thing was, there's a ton of podcasts out there that do just comics, or just movies,
exactly.
or just whatever. And I thought,
Well, that was the original idea going into it,
can't-
was because we had just come off a comic book podcast.
I can't talk about just comics for an hour every week. Like, I just can't do it.
Well, there's
because you
just
know what?
some-
Some weeks comics aren't any good.
Some weeks you
Some weeks
go to get
suck.
your pull file and you got 4 books in there.
And they all suck, and you don't really have the
Really?
energy
Yeah.
to talk about any of them.
I go to my pull file every week and I'm spending like $80.
Well,
And then he's still got like another 200 left in the box.
Wow.
John, we're not talking about porn.
No, we're talking about comics.
Oh,
if you want to talk about porn,
That is
well,
his porn.
His pull
That's
file.
why he's always
That's
broke.
the term I always used. So
yeah,
a little
so
folder on my computer.
So yeah, we definitely. Well,
No, I get my
especially
point
because I
for free.
like all of that. We like all that other stuff so much. Like John couldn't. We could if it was just a comic podcast, people would be pissed because we'd constantly be talking about
Green
comic
Lantern.
book or video games.
Yeah.
And and they'd be like, why are they talking about all this other crap? We're supposed to be talking about,
Well,
full
I-
number
I
of
think
fire.
you guys
I've,
were
had
some
this,
on-
I've heard like y'all's fans comments like, oh my god, they're talking about comics. Isn't this a comic?
That's their being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because we'll do 3 comics podcasts in a row, all comics, and then we'll do one about television or something, and then some wag will go the next episode when we bring up comics. Oh, they're finally talking about
Well,
comics.
sorry, so let's be honest. As we've added more people to the podcast, actually, as we've added more girls to our cast, the girls just won't read comic books. So to include them, we've had to really talk about other things besides comics. Not that we don't enjoy it.
See,
that we
you're
don't
just
enjoy
going
it.
about it wrong because
just not-
I disagree with the assertion that girls don't read comic
You're
books.
just not giving
Oh,
them
he's
the right
not
kind.
saying
Oh, I'm not saying- I'm not
girls.
saying
though.
You're
girls.
just saying these
He's saying
particular women.
our girls.
Our
Okay,
girls.
see, I gotta say, you
And
guys
the
are
girls
asking
we
good
have-
questions. I just want to know, how do you get girls on your show?
We know we've been lucky to find a small crop of really intelligent and funny geek girls who are really into comics related things, except just not comic books themselves.
And are sleeping with one or more of the members. Of
yeah,
the
that's what I found.
that is what's funny. Like they came on independently, and now they've all hooked up with the rest of the male. crew.
My route was to take a girl that had almost zero interest in geek and then marry her and force it upon her. And now
How's that
she's-
going for you?
No, it's going really well. It's going really well. I loved it. She was so excited to see. There was a trailer for Kick-Ass, and she saw that and was just crazy, super excited to see it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Took you by surprise.
Married a girl that's really excited to see a comic book movie. Fantastic. Let's go see that.
It's always really surprising. It's a slow process. It's not a
It's
force.
taking time. You start them off. It's like Baby Bird. You start them off with here's a little why the last man. Here's a little why the last man. Oh, you'll like that.
Yeah, my,
Here's a little fables.
Get her to
Oh,
read
have some
girls.
fables,
my
have
Lady
some
Mary
fables.
has just gotten
Girls.
finally. I've tried for so long to get her turned on to comics. I've never managed to find anything grabbed her for whatever reason. I mean, I have no idea why this book in particular, but Girls by the Luna Brothers, she's
Yep.
like fanatical.
Well, I asked her straight up. I literally gave her Why the Last Man. I gave her some fables. And then I said, "Did you like the Spider-Man movie?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I really liked the Spider-Man movie." I said, "Great." And I gave her Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
And then I was
See,
done.
that's such a great
that's a
starter
great
book.
gateway drug.
Yeah.
Mary didn't like that.
well, I know I couldn't get her to try it.
That's
Yeah.
the greatest.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic gateway drug.
Yeah.
It
I
really,
will also
really
say
is.
that Rod's wife is also our show's biggest fan, probably. 'Cause
Yeah.
She's
Aw.
constantly sending us messages, especially
Sweet.
when Rod's not on the show,
What it
asking
is-
why we
yeah,
did
yeah. No, what it is my wife actually never listens to the show except for when she goes out of town. And then I'll get the next day I'll get an email or something. I was so sad I wasn't with you, and so I listened to the show. You're really nerdy. So,
Yeah, you hide all that. Yeah,
I got to tell you, I am up until pretty recently, I was a really closeted geek. Like my friends knew I was a geek, but like my coworkers, My acquaintances had no idea how geeky. They were like, "Oh, Rod likes movies," right? They had no idea about any of the other stuff, and it's been a slow process to kind of come out of the closet, so to speak, about
I love
my
that, like a new
nerddom.
guy comes to your office and he's wearing a Captain America T-shirt, and you're like, here, put this on. You got to cover that up. Man.
Oh well, no, I wouldn't even acknowledge that because you would have people who would walk in with the nerd shirt,
what's
and
that?
I would not. I would
He
make
beat
a point
the
to
shit
avoid
out
it.
of him because fucking geek.
I had a rule. My wife was and this is maybe a little more information than people need, but whatever. I had a rule that was a girl would not know about my comic book, my nerd, none of that stuff until I had sex with them. If I wasn't sleeping with them,
And then you dropped
they
the
would
bomb.
not, right? Because at that point they were committed.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they were going to sleep with me, then finding out I read Spider-Man was not going to scare them off. If I
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
So-
you ever watch those episodes of the Munsters where they just take off and it's the big?
yeah.
You know,
I just did it again.
My whole life, I always played the geek thing on my sleeve. I always said, you know what, that's who I am, whatever. You know, I always, because you know me, could I help it?
No,
Can
you
I
couldn't.
not
Yeah.
be a
You
geek?
couldn't.
No,
a big giant geek?
same
I
way.
can't. And
Dude, every time you get
Damn.
excited, half your face looks like Spider-Man.
yeah, despite the
Hello.
despite the mythology of the Cyrus character on the site, I got laid a lot.
You know, and I don't know what it was. There was no reason for me to be particularly. All of my friends in high school and past high school, we were all nerds. We had one of those Morgan buildings in the backyard with that we insulated and put an air conditioning unit, and we would role play every Friday night. Like I was a nerd, right? There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But
You felt like you had to hide it.
I did. I felt closeted. It was very weird. It was very strange.
I
So,
feel like-
less so now. Than,
Just a message to our fans, I feel like it is better for you to just admit who
It
you are.
really is. I have friends that I have one friend in particular who's a giant nerd. He's a winner of the Dragon's Lair trivia contest, the comic book trivia contest. He's won that once or twice. And he is the world's largest nerd. You will never meet anyone who his pull list would make yours.
Oh, I'm sure
you
it
would
would.
cry. And he just doesn't care. It doesn't matter where he is, who he's around. Like I had a 30th birthday party. Every single person I've ever known in my life was at this party, and probably 80% of those people had no idea that I was a nerd, to the extent I was. And he walks in and we're talking, and he starts talking about D&D in front of people that I know, and it's just
I'd
like
be
my, and I'm
"Dude,
just like,
uh-uh.
oh my god. How do you, but he's so comfortable with it, and you have to kind of admire that.
Yeah.
You know,
to be fair, we even make fun of D&D guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you pull him aside, go like,
Yeah.
I will kill you.
yeah, like dude, like I'm your friend and stuff, but if you mention a staff of whatever again, I'm gonna punch you in the face. You've got to. This is why you don't have a girlfriend, dude. You got to keep that on the down low, man.
But
It's
you don't have a girlfriend either.
No.
Shut up.
She lives in Canada.
See, my whole point of view is that, you know, I'm awesome, so it doesn't really, my geek-centric qualities help enforce that I'm awesome, so.
Dude, it's just
And it's
about-
a good. I will be the first to admit it. I'm very dysfunctional about that. I'm coming to grips with it, but I used to be extremely dysfunctional.
Well, it sounds like you're
about
not
those
anymore,
numbers.
so, you know, it's
Yeah.
all
I mean,
good.
I got a wife now. Who cares?
She's got to
There you
deal
go.
with what
I
she
got a
found
ring
out.
on her finger, man. I can do whatever I want.
And by the
Kinda.
way, I killed like 30 sorority girls. There it is. It's on the table. To be fair, I dressed them up as characters from Lord of the Rings first, but, you know, it's only because I'm a bigger Narnia fan.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Now, something that I want to tell you guys is like, you really wouldn't be here if I hadn't listened to your show and liked it. quite a
Oh,
bit.
good.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was like, man, they do a tight, little, organized, very professional show.
We're
So-
very Mussolini about the show. There's outlines and
Yeah, I actually have a format that I write out and send out to everybody, and I even have a script in front of me, so some of it I'm actually reading off of something.
So much better than what we do.
it's definitely a tight
Honestly,
ship.
the more I do stuff like that, the more I end up not enjoying it while we're doing it because I'm
Well,
so like,
you
trying to
guys
stick to that
do.
script.
I was listening to your last week's episode, and you guys do this thing, your news and kind of BS section at the front. Ours lasts because we have that same section where it's actually news is separate from our BS. Our BS goes maybe
Five.
5 minutes?
10 minutes. At
10
most.
minutes if we really have something
Yeah.
to talk about. Normally 2 to 5 at most.
Yeah.
And I was listening this morning. I thought, oh, I'll listen to the show real quick. And I'm watching the little time bar on it as it loads up, and I'm like, does that say 151 minutes? Holy! And I'm like, when are they going to start talking about Iron Man? And I clicked there, I'm like, and I looked because I'm doing other stuff, and I looked down when you finally start talking about Iron Man. I'm like, oh my God, it's an hour into the show.
You know, it is one of these things where we feel like it should be a shorter show, and that would probably be better for everybody concerned, even like for us.
But your fans don't like it.
No, they don't.
We tried it
We
multiple
tried
times.
multiple times.
And every single time there was not a single dissenting vote saying, you know
see.
what, I like this format better shorter.
That's,
it was all
that's
like,
the difference. We don't care about our fans.
Well, we also don't get emailed.
Also
or
why we don't have
contacted
any.
by our fans. So.
We would love. We would.
No,
That's part of
we
the
have a
reason,
few
obviously, to
fans
come
who
on the shows.
contact
We
us.
actually we really like your show, but
Yeah.
a big part of it was we're, as you said earlier, marketing. We're big into. We want more listeners because what we really
people
want
can-
is
and
more
people
feedback.
Can get to your site from geekbombast.com.
Absolutely, or on iTunes.
Very,
That's the
very
easiest way to
easy.
do it. Is just jump on iTunes, Google Geek Bombast, and there we are. It's real simple.
Google Geek
Or, I'm
Bombast
sorry,
on
search
iTunes.
it. Whatever. Google is a verb.
Yeah.
We all know what we're
No,
talking
it
about.
is
is a
now.
verb.
Shut
yeah.
your face.
Hey, let the marketing guy talk. You
And here
No, but
starts
it's-
the
because
the
we
weekly
want, we
fight.
really like, and I think that's where, and we've started getting some feedback. We got a fan in
Yeah.
Finland, which we were excited about.
Yeah, he owns a comic store.
Yeah.
Now I could have swore like the episode I listened to recently, you guys were like, you have a sponsor? Or?
Yeah.
We do have a sponsor.
So you have to take a commercial break.
No, well, we do it like the old Colgate hour, man. We just
Yeah.
insert the commercial right into the show.
Indeed.
Actually, we just start talking, then we're like, okay, and now let's move on to our sponsor, and then we'll just say the bits they want us to say, and then we'll move on.
And I will say, I've listened to other, such podcasts, and usually like within 10 minutes, I'm like, man, these guys are boring. I'm turning this off. And
Yeah.
I've listened to several of your shows, and I think you
Thank
guys
you.
do a good job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I
good to
wish
know.
I could say the same. You guys suck. No, I'm just kidding. I actually haven't listened to you guys yet.
That's all right.
That's
Don't worry
okay.
But I will. Because this week was my
Don't make a
whole
promise you can't
reaffirm listening to podcasts week.
You're the podcast guy.
No.
I usually don't listen to podcasts.
I didn't until just recently, and I was like, you know what? I really, of all people, I'm the guy who should be listening to other people's podcasts, and I feel terrible that I haven't been.
Yeah.
And then this was the reminder
Here's
I need to be
problem with
listening
that,
to
of
these
course,
guys.
is there's so many.
There are.
Oh yeah.
So many.
Well, and that's been the whole thing is I've been filtering through stuff, and I'm like, I go through these lists, best podcasts. I go, wow, these all suck. Almost all these.
Well, that's why you
suck
should
and
just
are
listen to this
boring.
one and then ours,
Yeah.
and then be done with it.
Now, see, that's so simple.
We
You
try to
hear
make
that?
it easy.
League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen fans. There's just us and Geek Bombast.
That's all you got to do.
Well, I have Sirius XM. That I
I
listen to all
love
the time.
Sirius XM.
I do too. And now that they're merged, I get Book Radio. And you ever listen to Slice of Sci-Fi?
No,
It comes on. I think
2 in the morning?
Wednesday, no, it's like Wednesday. It's like Wednesday morning, but like
God
7:30 in
damn
the
you
morning.
cable radio guys.
But the thing is, I don't really like the show. It's somewhere between our two shows, but it's in that between where I'm like, it's not enough of one or the other.
I think Sirius XM. I think those guys should do at this stage of the game. There should be a podcast station. I think they should have Podcast 101, and they should just pay, and they would probably have to pay almost nothing
Yeah.
to.
True.
Because there are a real strong number of really good podcasts. You could pay a small amount to a few of those and just stream them. They're already there. The content's there. You add it to it. People would listen to them. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. But because people do love the Sirius, I have found that you will listen to the weirdest crap if it's on the satellite radio.
Honestly, like my radio is set to like I mostly got it for Howard Stern. But
Yeah. See,
but
I don't listen to Stern.
But my
I don't-
go-to station is Radio Classics with the old radio shows.
I can't turn away from that stupid comedy channel. I can't. I put it on the
it-
stand-up comedy
The
channel.
problem with
and I've
those
never
is
gone.
the problem with those is that so much of stand-up comedy is so awful that I just start getting nauseated and I have to turn the channel.
the
with
Raw
that.
Dog station is good. You would
Yeah,
like
no,
it.
Raw Dog's
really?
good.
Okay.
I like Raw Dog. Every once in a while, it's not good. They play a lot of Bill Hicks. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go. Who
Yeah,
is
they play a lot of Bill Hicks, and a lot of Doug
incidentally
Stanhope,
the
and a lot of
greatest
Chris
comedian
Rock.
who's ever lived.
That's true.
Yeah,
True.
no,
I minor sidebar. Saw a list of top 10 top 10 greatest comedians of all time on some stupid website. Number 1 was Bill Hicks, so you got to give him a little credit. Number 10, this is funny. Number 10, Dennis Leary. Made me laugh.
That's
so
ironic.
hard. So hard.
It's
I
like
could not
You guys
stop.
didn't do your research.
Like
at
you have
all,
no
did
idea.
you?
I mean, it's cool that you like Dennis Leary, but you
Maybe they
realize
did
that's
it
just Bill
ironically.
Hicks.
Yeah, Dennis Leary is one of those guys that like. There's nothing wrong with liking him because he's clearly enormously talented, but
Great
you
writer.
can't
Rescue
put
Me's
him
awesome.
into a stand-up comedy list.
'Cause he's
You
not a stand-up
fail
comic.
by putting him in a stand-up comedy list because all he ever did was rip off Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's like,
not true. He ripped off more than just Bill Hicks.
Okay,
he
fair
ripped
enough.
off other people
He
as
ripped.
well.
He was a blatant theft at that. But you watch, what he's done since. You're like, You gotta hand it to the guy. He's
He's
enormously
actually
talented.
fantastic. Well,
the
if you
movie
read-
The Ref, which is the best Christmas movie ever, and the Rescue 911.
I don't know if it's better than Gremlins.
Die Hard would have words with you, sir.
The show Rescue
No,
Me.
Christmas Vacation.
His part in Demolition Man.
You guys, seriously, the greatest Christmas movie of all time is Die Hard. Come on.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I
Come
failed.
on.
No, you're
Die
right.
Hard.
Rod got me on that one. Die Hard is the greatest Christmas.
Die Hard. It ends with
Not
a Christmas
Jingle All
song.
the
It
Way?
opens with a
I know
Christmas
it's a
song.
Christmas movie. I'm just trying to figure out if it's the best Christmas movie.
Of course it is. It's Die
No, my
Hard.
Santa
Wait,
Claus
Rod,
hat
last,
actually.
last week you said Reindeer Games was your favorite Christmas
No,
movie.
No one
Yeah,
has
it's
ever.
Jingle All the
said
Way.
Nobody's
that.
ever
Not
said
even
that.
Ben Affleck would say that.
Yeah.
Not even the writer of Reindeer Games would say that.
My Santa Claus hat actually says "Ho ho ho." Now I have a machine gun on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It is.
Well, man,
You're
I
right.
feel like I had some other questions for you guys, but
Or maybe we should just go to crossovers.
well, we should take a break before we do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's a good
It's
point.
not me saying that; it's my bladder saying that.
You're right, because I have to pee too.
Amazing.
Our brains
So does
and
John.
bladders are connected.
Exactly. Human centipede.
How about you? How about you, John? You're like the alternate me. You're the Seinfeld
I'm actually not-
parallel universe.
No. We peed earlier before we
Yeah.
started recording this
Wait,
section.
did you guys pee together?
Well, not at the same
Whatever,
time.
yeah.
Only at bars.
right.
We may have been in the same room, but didn't pee at the same time.
Okay, now we're back for the last part of this episode of Leog.
The
with
final chapter.
the final chapter. The final chapter of this big crossover event we got going with the guys from the Geek Bombast podcast.
What will happen?
Wait a minute. So, okay, now the way crossovers work.
We're supposed to fight.
Yeah, we're supposed to fight.
Well,
we're supposed
no.
to meet each other.
Me and Chris already took that. We actually had a
Who?
knife fight. Or
That guy? He's a driver.
Yeah, now
Yeah, who was here
Chris
earlier?
is getting this beer right now.
Yeah.
I'm
he
sorry,
went out to
our
get
names
beer.
mixed up. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
all right. People mix him and me up all the time.
Okay,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, me and Cyrus got
Yeah.
that fixed earlier. We had a knife fight out in the driveway.
Yeah.
I cut myself, and we decided it was too dangerous.
Well, that's usually the way it goes. We meet up, we have a misunderstanding, and rather than ask questions like, wait, why are you here and what are you doing? We just fight.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and then somewhere in the course of the fighting, and if we're from different companies, it's planned out so that we each get the same amount of hits off of each other. So it's a complete draw.
yeah. Well, or of course, if you're going by comic standards, anytime it says someone versus someone from different companies, it means giant misunderstanding.
Yes.
Because for some reason, even though this is some sort of meta universe that's not the standard where they both exist in, they've never heard of each other, or if they have, that they've heard that the other guy's a dick. And they fight, and then they figure out it was a big misunderstanding, and they team up against
And
Lex
then they beat the
Luthor
shit out of
or
the
whatever
Joker
the
and
fuck
then
it
Lex
is.
Luthor or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Okay, so
Or the Red Skull.
we missed the whole first part of that already, so we might as
Yeah.
well just go with what we have
Well,
here.
we're rational adults, so we're able to sit down and go like, hey, what's your story? Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty
What
cool.
most people don't realize is the knives we used earlier were made out of paper.
There is that.
Yeah, but I have the worst paper cuts right now. I mean,
Yeah.
really, dude, that was
too
fine.
dangerous.
I could have dealt with that, but then when you sprayed me with the fucking like super soaker filled with lemon juice, that was just uncool.
Now,
I did get some pleasure out of that.
something I want to jump into because now we get to talk about crossovers, and I got a list of questions here because hey, our good Spill fans have written in tons of questions, but one question that several people wrote in several times, and I'm not even going to bother to list who asked this, is what's your favorite crossover? And you know, Mike, you have just been dominating the conversation, not letting anybody get a word in edgewise, and still I'm gonna come to you first. You being the DC guy. What did you think of Blackest Night?
I liked it. I liked Blackest Night. It just took way too damn long to get to the conclusion they wanted.
Right.
It drew out longer than it should have. But all in all, I thought it was a good story. Jeff Johns, one of my favorite writers at DC right now,
Yeah.
and also it had zombies, and I can't turn zombies down.
It's automatically cool, pretty much.
Yeah. It's you either say zombie or Romero, and my day's done.
I keep wanting to say, man, zombies are over, but they're not over.
No,
Well,
they're never
Every
over.
so often, somebody pulls out something where you go like, "Damn, they found a new angle on it."
Yeah, they do.
Uh,
They keep
you know.
surprising me. I'm going,
So you-
wow, there is still more life left.
You could say
in
that
the
every time we
undead.
think zombies are dead,
Stop it!
they
You,
come
no,
back.
no! God damn it, both of you guys! Okay, we can't have two of you in the same
I would
room.
say the real innovation is going to be a couple of years from now when somebody again just does a normal zombie comic or TV show. Or
You know what,
something.
you're right.
It's going to be innovative. And be like,
With-
it's just normal zombies. Wow, that's
but
crazy.
that's what's about to happen with AMC.
yeah, The
and,
Walking
and
Dead.
The Walking
yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
So that's
And looking
Romero's
forward to that
zombies.
series.
Of course
Who
you-
isn't?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I gotta say with Brightest Day, Blackest Night, Brightest Day, when Blackest Night finally reached its final conclusion, I'm like, well, it's somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, like, I wasn't like a big letdown for me.
Yeah.
But it's like, anything that has a long build up like that, it's just impossible to reach the kind of conclusion you want for everything
But-
you've invested.
But if anything, you finally have Boston Brand alive,
Well-
which was the big key for me seeing that happen. It's kind of like, wait, this can't work.
So were you a fan back from the Neil Adams days?
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Boston Brand is awesome. Dead Man rules.
Yeah.
okay.
So seeing him actually
Well,
alive
we've decided on
and
the other
not
show we're
dead
going to
man.
call him Man
Yeah.
Man.
because he's
Well,
not dead anymore.
I mean,
Alive
man.
Man.
To me,
Yeah.
the thing about the whole wrap up of it is like there's tons now of DC comics that I'm interested in reading where I wasn't
Yeah.
before. They've turned me on to a whole bunch of new
Well,
things. And
Blackest
out of new
Night
things,
is one of the first events that has all the tertiary books that actually made you more interested in those tertiary books.
and speaking
successfully.
of which, I went and picked up new comics today. And Rod, while you're not a DC guy, I would suggest to you Brightest Day Titans.
I did not get Titans, but I do have, because I'm a fan of Gail Simone, I do have Birds of Prey in my car right now.
Everyone's raving about Birds of Prey right now. I haven't read
Right.
any of it. So.
Right. Well, I read this in the store
The
where
Titans one is good.
it's what's his name? Slade.
Deathstroke.
Thank you. Deathstroke, and he's got a kill squad, and they go after the Atom, not Ray Palmer, but like the new Atom.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, DC has really been on a kick to like kill off characters, which I don't really jibe with. But I read it in the store today. I was like, oh wait, this book is brilliant, and I would tell you like, hey man, you don't like DC, check that out.
Well, Blackest Night, the best book in it was Titans. I mean, like the
That's
best
right.
sideline book was that. I mean, there was that great moment where Donna Troy had to kill her own zombie baby by crushing its head in her own hands. That I'm sorry, I don't even know much about that book, and that was an emotional moment. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
If I had a nickel for every time I had to kill my own zombie baby.
But you know what? You're talking about this like a crossover, and I know that technically, like some terminology refer to Blackest Night as a crossover, but I don't. When I hear crossover, I think that the term has become different with it being so constant.
there's just
It's an
different
event.
types.
I think you're
not a
thinking of,
crossover.
I think when you're saying crossover, you're thinking of the classic definition, which
Yeah.
is two heroes meet and fight, whereas
From-
nowadays a crossover really is more often a
Several
giant
books.
company-wide
Yes.
event.
Yeah, but see,
that
I
touches
feel like
many
that. I feel like
characters.
the crossover term, the old term was
Right.
an event, and now events are so nonstop that they're just events.
Because, yeah, an
The
event leads into
crossover
another event.
now specifically means different companies crossing over with each
Well, dude,
other.
I'm not going to talk about Superman versus Spider-Man because that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, but you have any idea how many there have been since then?
Yeah, I know. There's there's way more little ones than we can really sit here and count.
Sure, but let's try.
No.
Now, going back to the first one, Superman, what? Should I not do this?
You can. I wanted to get the opposite view.
Well, I was just going to read out the comics like straight through.
I know, and I would like for you to do that.
I think that'd make a great show.
Well, no, wait a minute. We did the DC side.
But I get to be Batman.
We did the DC side. And part
And
of the reason for
Spider-Man.
what we're doing this also was that Siege has finally ended.
Oh,
The
it's in my
last-
car right now. I didn't get to read it.
Oh, you haven't read it yet?
Number 4 is in my car
I made
right
a point.
now.
I made a point of going to pick that up and all the ancillary books and read them before I got here.
So all my research was in vain, is what you're saying.
no,
Yes.
no.
Completely
It's just
totally.
a whole.
I know how
Wait,
you
John,
feel.
have you read them?
Yeah.
I have read all the
The latest, today's comics.
Siege stuff.
And Rod, you have not.
Number 4 is I'm 3
Oh, you're
pages
killing
into
me.
number
But
4.
yet, Rod, you're the guy like Marvel's so much better.
Yeah,
than
no,
DC.
you
I just picked up my comics right before coming here. They're literally in my car.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can't
no,
fault the guy
he
for
was
that.
at work before he
Yeah,
came here
yeah,
directly.
I have a job.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Let me say this about that, because I guess there were like 3, at least I picked up 3 of the Siege related books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siege and 2 of the related books.
The tie-in books
I
have
picked
been-
up New Avengers and Dark Avengers, or New Avengers.
What
Annual
do
or
you
something.
think of the tie-in books for that?
I'll say this: the Siege itself, number 4, I thought was, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
The 2 tie-in books I thought were much better.
really.
Yes.
The Avengers ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, Dark Avengers and New Avengers.
You know, I mean, Siege is
they take a
Siege
whole
has
book to
just
flesh
been
things out.
Siege has just been a 4-issue fight scene. I mean,
Yes.
it's so different from. And I guess maybe it's Bendis' answer to people who said, "All you ever do is talk. All anybody ever does in your books is talk." And,
Really?
And
Oh, yeah, they
I
said
get
it all
that
the
a
time.
That's
lot.
what
People
he's
say-
best at.
Right, no, exactly.
I know, but like
That's the
it's
complaint
kind of,
people have
Well, it's the kind of
sometimes.
thing where even I admit that like all his characters do is talk. There's not a lot of action. I happen to like that.
Yeah.
However, there are times when I recognize like, look, these are the Avengers. They should be doing more than just bantering with each
Sure.
other.
In front of the
And so
TV.
this is kind of his answer to that, I think, is
Let's
all right. You want
have
fighting? Let's do 4 issues. Here's
Norman
88
Osborn
pages of
attack
fighting.
Asgard.
But it's too much the other way. It's like he hasn't reached that.
There were a
delicate
couple of cool
balance.
moments in that.
Yes,
book.
there were.
I just the whole thing with the Siege and everything else going on with Marvel just feels like Bendis, who is definitely a good writer and his strength is dialogue, got caught up in that whole Quesada fanboy, let's go out to a bar, get drunk, and talk about like what I'm gonna do with this comic type of thing in the world of Marvel, where it's like this would never happen. None of this makes any sense at all.
Cyrus, I will say this, that when you get to the end of Siege, the comic itself, it's kind of like, well, it's finally over. But Dark Avengers and New Avengers, that made it where like, okay, this is a good cap to all this.
Okay, well everyone
But
is
John,
saying
how
that.
did you feel?
Well,
Maybe
I kind of
I'm
agree
way
with that. I
off
mean, one of the things I did like about it is that it was only 4 issues.
Yeah.
I mean, that I love. The second it said it was 4 issues, I was like, all right, awesome. But then, the tie-ins, I do think that I read the New Avengers finale,
Yeah.
and I do think that was a better end cap
Yeah.
to kind of pretty much Bendis' entire run on New Avengers up
Right.
to this point.
Right.
Which really kind of made me surprised when I flipped the page and said, coming in June, New Avengers #1.
Well, they are using it to springboard like 5 of the
6.
Avengers. Is it 6?
Yes.
Okay. I was
2,
joking.
one of which is a
Fuck.
mini-series.
All right.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that this was the end of events? I could have sworn they said
no,
that.
They always
it's
say
not
it's
more
the end of
events. It's just more
It's more
titles.
Avengers books.
Okay, well,
Like they're ending all of the Avengers books and then relaunching them with like 6 more Avengers books.
okay.
Although some of those are minis.
I mean,
Avengers, New Avengers, Secret Avengers.
I have
Avengers
really
Academy.
the one thing I've enjoyed out of all this stupidity that's been going on with Marvel for the last 5 years has been the Avengers books, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So okay, great. I mean, for the longest time in comics, I hated the teams, with the exception of the Defenders, which I know I'm that one.
The
geek for
lamest
the
team
Defender.
ever.
I know. I like the underdog. What do you want from me? But I didn't really like the Avengers.
So you're
when
the
whole
guy who
growing
buys
up.
that book.
Yeah, I know, or formerly, because there is no book.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious. I want to know. I mean, how many of those is Bendis writing though?
2.
Okay, and
No, wait, 3. I'm sorry. He's writing Avengers, New Avengers, and Avengers Primer,
But Brubaker's
Primer
writing
is
Secret
Yeah, but
Avengers.
Primer is the lead-in. It's gonna.
which is a 5-issue.
Yeah, it's like a
mini.
mini-series, and it's the main 3. It's Cap, Thor, and Iron Man kind of hashing it out, kind of having a conversation post-Siege.
you can't blame Marvel for focusing on the Avengers, especially
Yeah.
because that's what they're doing in the movies
Here's
right now.
what's-
They want
well, I mean,
everyone to get excited.
What's crazy to me is flashback to, I guess, anytime pre-Bendis on Avengers. I mean, that book was a massive mess.
Oh yes.
Prior to Brian Michael Bendis,
Oh, yeah.
there wasn't a good Avengers comic for like a 15 years, 20 years.
I don't know about that
Well,
long.
they,
It was a
they
long
would pretend
time.
like the Kurt Busiek books were good, but they
were good, but they
eh.
didn't feel like they were. They almost felt like an Elseworld to me.
Yeah.
They almost didn't feel like they were a part of the real Marvel universe. To me, it was like, we're gonna go let Kurt and George play over here in this corner with these characters, but it's not really gonna feel like it's a part of the rest of what's going on in Marvel. And I mean, that was my thought.
Okay, I just, I mean, you're right. Nothing interesting happened with the Avengers for a long time.
But now
I mean,
it's
I was
awesome.
like, I just, who cared what was
Yeah.
happening until Bendis took over? But that's partially because Bendis had entered the scene like this badass rock star, and we were all reading everything he was doing at that point. Now it's just kind of like, man, I respect the fact you're still a good writer, but man, you spread so thin.
It's what happens to any comic book writer. When they're good, they're great when they get on one book, and they're still good on 2 and maybe on 3. But once they start writing 5 or 6 books a month, they just none of them are great.
And what's Bendis writing, like 15 or something? I mean, I couldn't have. He feels like he's the.
Yeah, but he's ending stuff. Like Spider-Woman went away.
See, but Spider-Woman was awesome. That was like where I was like, this is what you should be doing.
Well, but he's doing the new indie book, right?
Yeah, Scarlet.
So he's doing
Icon
Scarlet
book.
with well, right, Icon. Yeah,
but Spider-Woman was Alex Maleev. It was like, hey,
he's
it's
doing
the
Scarlet with
Daredevil.
Alex Maleev.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah,
All
it's gonna be
fair
good.
enough.
It's like Bendis is not going to do a book with Maleev.
Yeah, well, that's the super team.
Yeah,
is those
it
two
really
together.
is.
Whoa,
So-
wait, what's this? Oh, hey, Bo just walked in the room. Hey,
Oh.
Bo.
About time. Damn, where have you been?
Yeah, where you been, dude?
Working, unlike all of the other geeks, apparently. So, did we get around to talking about the ultimate crossover, which is Laugh Olympics Siege? I didn't think it was going to come down to Huckleberry Hound and Muttley, but, it was so perfect when it finally got there.
Man, I used to love Laugh Olympics when I was in junior high school.
Who doesn't love Laugh Olympics? Come on!
I don't now. They're terrible. But back
It's
then,
the best crossover, even.
Well, gosh, I thought Cyrus was going to read his intercompany crossover.
No, I think you spoiled him on that.
I'm going away. You guys talk about your damn event shit.
Damn.
I was all ready to recite
In
the
other
complete
words-
script of the X-Men versus the Teen Titans.
All right, you can leave.
The greatest.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
You are the
He's
weakest
taking
link.
his ball and going home.
No, seriously, I was kind of listening out the window when you were talking about the paper cut knife fight. I was kind of hoping to wander in here and find JSA and JLA, and I wandered in on the Sharks and the Jets. Great crossover, guys.
Hey, man, it happens.
I'm just
Now,
saying.
Sorry.
Well, Bo, now that you're here, we can start reading questions from
Oh,
the
cool.
audience.
And we can start being bitterly sarcastic.
We can do that. Let's see. We got
Way
from,
ahead of you.
Haven't, yeah.
from Black Magic, who says, before jumping into any crossover, do you believe it's necessary for the reader or viewer to have a basic idea of the universe being intertwined in a crossover?
No. What do you mean? You have to have an idea of?
Like,
I mean, are they saying like, can you jump into a crossover that involves a universe that you know a lot about and a universe you don't know anything about?
well, I think
or
it's
that you
more-
have
I
to
think
have
it's
an
more
idea.
like it's a crossover between 2 books or several books that you haven't read before. Can you get
As a
into it?
reader.
Yes, as a reader.
Oh no, I think if the writer is worth his salt, you should be. I'm a big believer of kind of the old school Marvel family, where you should be able to pick up any book at any time and get enough
That's-
information to finish it and be happy.
I mean, that's the point of a crossover.
Right.
I mean, the earliest crossover, really, in my particular eye anyway, is the Justice Society, which was actually before DC had it incorporated into just DC. It was National Comics and like American
Periodicals,
Comics. Yeah. And they combined all of their little main titles like Green Lantern, Hawkman, and the Spectre, so on and so forth, into one mag. And the whole reason for that is like, hey, let's generate more fans. Let's get people who like Sandman to go ahead and start reading Hawkman comics. So, I mean, not only do I not think it's a prerequisite, I think it kind of goes against the grain of what the damn things are intended for.
Well, I think what they're intended for is to, like, especially the ones that are intercompany, are intended to get you to read the other comics that they put
Yeah.
out.
right.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the whole thing is like, Superman's great, Batman is great. Obviously, if we put them together in World's Finest, that'll be twice as great. And in theory, that works. It's just
paper.
like, hey, my chocolate got in my peanut butter. But occasionally you get like, oh my God, your tired, played out, horrible movie franchise got all over my Batman. What the fuck have you just done? Why don't you watch what you're doing?
Yeah, because the problem is you have some readers who have peanut allergies,
Yeah.
and others who are who can't have too much caffeine.
And others who are racist. So no chocolate there. Yeah.
Sometimes you get X-Men Teen Titans. Sometimes you get Cyberforce Wildcats. It's not always a win. when
Man,
you do a crossover.
Now you bring it up. I loved that. What was it? It was Claremont and Wolfman writing that Teen Titans X-Men, the original one where it's Darkseid and Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that's the benchmark, right? That is that's the benchmark for great crossovers.
And
I think it's definitely one of them.
Because Cyrus left the room, I'm assuming.
See,
Right.
when that one came out, I thought, well, that's an easy one because when they brought the Teen Titans back during that time, they so modeled them off the X-Men.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was no surprise. That
But
I always thought
also,
it was weird that Nightwing had the laser vision thing.
it was weird how much Robin had become an officious prick by the time that crossover
Did you guys
came
read
around.
the Justice League Avengers crossover where they went back and forth and like the DC heroes come to the Marvel universe? They were like, man, this kind of sucks because back in our DC universe, we're celebrated as heroes. And over here in the Marvel universe, they're all like Spider-Man's hunted down by the police and everybody's shitting on them.
And the Punisher's going around killing people and no one's stopping him.
Yeah.
Except for
Well, that's the
Batman.
problem with that crossover, right? Is what Superman shows up in the Marvel universe and solves everyone's problems. Comics over.
Well, it's like I do love in that comic though the scene where
I had lunch before I did that too.
Yeah, well, it's like the DC characters appear in the Marvel universe, and like Batman's like, we can't do anything. We have to completely stay, neutral in all of this. We can't do anything to mess with this world. And then he sees the Punisher go kill somebody, and Batman's like, I'll be right back.
Totally true.
Well, now, speaking of
We need to have
Punisher,
a talk.
we got Guitaro Man asking, what are your feelings on intercompany crossovers like Archie meets the Punisher?
I love Archie meets the Punisher.
I do too.
How can you not like that? I mean, it's just
It's absurd.
yeah. I mean, it's like something out of the Dada school.
Well, I know this relates to a question somebody else asked, but a lot of these crossovers are done clearly just for the money.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah.
And that was one that was done for like somebody who just said like, you know what, this will be so wacky.
I have this awesome idea.
I have this awesome idea.
Well, and I mean, crossovers really the fine art of crossover came because of Jim Shooter, which is probably one of the most business-oriented comic artists on the face of the planet. I mean, he got into comics so he could help support his family, for Christ's sakes. And I mean, he came up with Secret Wars, and boom, the year after we had Crisis on Infinite Earths. And it's the 80s. It's Reagan-era 80s. There is something inherently capitalistic about the crossover. There's no question about that.
I agree. And the Seeker says, first off, I'd like to apologize to the Geek Bombast for repeatedly posting "Long Live the League" on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
We just delete
That's
those.
not cool.
We just delete those, I think. No,
No,
they're still on there.
Yeah,
They're
they're
still
still there.
Whatever. As long as you're visiting our site.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they're visiting our site and listening to our show.
No such
we're
thing
happy.
as bad advertising. my
Hey,
friends.
if your fans have a catchphrase, they're more than welcome to come on to our Facebook page, if they can indeed find it.
I saw you put one up.
No, did he? Okay, there we go.
I can't tell you how to get to it. But it does.
You're really servicing your fan base, I can tell.
Hey,
we love our
we've got a website. What else do you want
Yeah,
from
exactly. Okay, but my question about shared universe and the Marvel and DC have adopted. Do you think shared universes somewhat hinders a character from having a good storyline because they have to deal with all of the other heroes in the universe and the events or whatever crossover happens is going to be? Like Spider-Man, for example, if he hadn't revealed his secret identity during Civil War, I don't think Quesada would have destroyed his character like he did with Brand New Day.
No.
Yes,
he was
going
to do that no matter what.
Yeah.
Let us
I
not
disagree
have
with
any
that
illusions
specific
about that.
example. I kind of agree with his point. Cyrus was talking earlier about how he really loved Bendis' Avengers. I am the number one flag waver for Bendis. I love Bendis, but I stopped reading Avengers a long time ago because every 3 issues was tied into some stupid freaking event.
Here.
Sure.
And so you didn't have any consistency in a run. There were no story arcs. It was, here's 3 issues of the comic, right? Getting ready to do a story arc. Oh, wait, hold on. Here's this crossover I got to deal with.
Yeah, you're absolutely
So
right.
for me, I would love. That's what I love about the Ultimate Universe, I guess. Like his Ultimate Spider-Man, he's got 100 and some odd issues of consistent, ongoing comics. That's great, and I think it does interfere with
Oh, I think it totally is.
with the writer's ability to tell a story.
Although I gotta say, like, man, Ultimate Spider-Man has been my favorite comic ever since it's been out. I just dropped it. It just like the last 5 or 6 issues have just been like, wow, this is doing nothing for me anymore. But back to that whole idea of does it ruin things? I go back to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I remember even as a kid when it came out and I saw it, that scene with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. It's like, wow, we have the two of them together.
And which was cleverly written so that neither one had more lines than the other.
Yes, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole time watching them, I'm like, wow, they really paced this to where neither one of them got better than each other. And then I read about how they really went in and counted the words to make sure that neither one had either word. So that whole kind of balancing act, like, hey, your guy can't be better than my guy. That just ruins it.
But I think even within a single universe, a single company wide crossover, I've said it before, and this is the 500th time I'm saying it. One of the things I really would like to see comics getting back to is more self-contained issues. And it's just like, man, it's great when you have a crossover that goes for a while, but we've already pointed out one of the weaknesses of Blackest Night. The thing went so fucking long, and because it did go so long, the payoff doesn't seem like as much of a payoff as it should be. I want to get more. Can you write a good story in 22 pages? I believe that's completely possible. I read hundreds of them in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah,
can we get back to that a little?
Who was writing a Fantastic Four that you were talking about? That was writing like 1 and 2 issue stories. It was really
Jonathan
good?
Hickman.
Hickman. Thank you.
Brilliant run on. I think honestly, if the first few issues he's done, if he can maintain even a portion of that, he's going to go down as one of the great FF writers. I mean, it's just, and he's doing 1, 2. I think his longest arc was 3 issues, and that was his first arc.
Well, and
just phenomenal.
Yeah, but I mean, before him, I was loving Millar until he got to the conclusion, and then I was pissed. I was like,
Millar,
I can't believe
that's Millar all over.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I got a great idea. I'm not going to worry about how I end it.
Millar has left a trail of unsatisfied women from Glasgow to Los Angeles, my friend, because the man's great in the sack until it comes to finishing the job. Jesus.
He's got the best opening lines to get you in bed.
He does. But
really does.
You frustrating Scottish bastard!
I've been enjoying Hickman's run, and also because the stories are self-contained or short. Or
if somebody was coming to me today and said, I've never read any comics, I really liked the Iron Man movie or whatever, but I want to read a superhero comic book, I'd absolutely give them Fantastic Four, because it's just such a great example of what good comic books should be.
Yeah.
Now, well, here's a question that I think probably only John can answer.
Uh-oh, here comes John.
And it says, I see the Kingdom Hearts picture up there on the, If any of the League or Bombast has played the game, what did you think?
I liked Kingdom Hearts. I think it came out at a right time when Square Enix or Squaresoft, when they were at the height of their popularity, and I think it just came out with this nice little blend between the Squaresoft characters and the Disney characters. I thought the sequel wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm not a big RPG person. I mean, I played it, I liked it, but it's not like, ooh, yay, great, awesome game. I love this game. I'm gonna buy it and play it, 200 times. It was serviceable for what it was, and it seems to have a really strong fan base on it as well.
Now, there's not that many crossover video games. It's like Kingdom Hearts and Marvel vs. Capcom.
No. There's Capcom vs. Tetsunoku, or Tetsunoku vs. Capcom, which is released on the Wii.
Okay.
In Japan, there was Namco vs. Capcom.
That moment when he said no. And I was like, oh no, what have I stepped in?
No. I have to say one of the weirdest video game crossovers is actually a comic company crossover that started off as a video game. In the 90s, Acclaim bought Valiant Comics.
Sure, yeah.
And to try to get people to read Exo Manowar, they also had the license to Iron Man, so they created a game called Iron Man and Exo Manowar in Heavy Metal War.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
It wasn't.
Oh.
I own this game. It's bad. It's horrible. But there's also a comic that then came out that was based on it as well. That I think that was released by...
Wait, did they do Turok, Son of Stone meets Tonto? Sidekick of the Lone Ranger?
No. But I just thought that was interesting because that was two comic companies crossing over, but not in a comic first. They crossed over in the video game first.
That's interesting.
And that's just really bizarre to me.
I love the Indiana Jones Pitfall crossover. I thought that really broke some boundaries there.
One. All right, now I have to get to a question from our good friend Nate.
Yay.
Who asked tons of questions.
Damn you, Nate.
Yeah, Nate. I don't know if I can get to all these, but we'll give it a shot. He
Wait,
he
yes,
knows.
no, yes, maybe.
It doesn't matter, and
Only on
Nate
Tuesdays.
will not take offense at this.
Oh, you know what?
Nate will answer his own questions in his commentary for this.
That's true. We sort of answered Nate's questions because he was asking us to predict our own crossover between our two podcasts. Will each side fight? Let's see, with no lesson learned, or will we fight and then come to a conclusion?
We realized that paper cuts hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sharing is caring.
All right. Oh, and then will we merge?
Probably will not merge.
Probably will not.
But
maybe. Okay. Now you guys watch DC animated cartoons?
Yeah.
Okay. So
sometimes.
All good people do.
Okay, now
Yeah,
Rod,
Rod.
you might
Like
not
I
like
said,
DC
sometimes.
Comics, but come on.
No,
Batman
no,
Beyond, Justice
I
League
like
Unlimited.
I like Batman animated series, of course.
Tim
Tim Burton stuff.
Bruce Timm.
Bruce Timm. Sorry.
Burton, sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, I love that. I liked the Superman one.
Superman was. I always thought the first season was very weak.
I was not a
But
big
but I
fan
thought
of the
it bounced
original,
back.
the Justice League cartoon, but then when it became Justice League Unlimited, that
yeah.
was good.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
So I guess the question is within that, what was the favorite crossover that happened?
I really liked the name of the episode escapes me. There was an episode with the Atom.
Oh.
And
Oh yeah, the
Blackheart?
Blackheart, which
Yeah.
is great.
Who's he crossing over with? Is that?
It's not really a
Not really a
crossover.
crossover.
Yeah.
I mean, there was who's
mean-
the other hero in that? There was another big. It was the Atom and or was it just the Atom?
It was it was the Adams moment to shine,
the Atom
but
got showcased in Blackheart, and then also when the android came back and wanted to kill Lex Luthor.
as far as
Blackheart's an awesome episode.
Yeah.
real crossover in Justice League, I think the only time you can say this is a spot on crossover know what's about is when they went to Skartaris, the Warlords universe inside
Actually,
the Lost World.
the commenter cites the episode with Kronos, where they go to the future, where with Batman Beyond, where they meet
okay,
Batman
yeah,
Beyond,
yeah,
and
definitely.
Static in the future,
Definitely.
And he's like, what's your favorite?
Which is great.
Yeah. To me, but when I recommend that series to people, that's the episode I think of.
And then you
that
have,
point where Green Lantern meets his son,
Yeah.
and when he gets there, and then the Hawkman of the future's like, Dad, what are you doing here? And he's
Isn't
like,
there
"Oh,
also
what?"
there's also a crossover? Isn't there a crossover with Superman?
There
Wonder
is a
Woman,
world.
and they go back in time to the Old West.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
awesome because
Oh, okay,
yeah.
same
I just
episode.
love
Okay,
that
great.
that episode. To
Yeah,
see
that's
how
the
many
first
voices
part.
Phil Lamar does.
Oh, I know.
It's like he's literally having conversations with himself for like 15 minutes of that episode.
It's so great. Well, my favorite part of that Old West
He kept
episode.
expecting Samurai Jack to show up.
Yeah,
at
but
some
Yeah.
but it was amazing because if you didn't know he was doing those voices, you would have had no
Exactly.
idea.
Now, my favorite part of that episode is when Green Lantern is like, "So, Batman, now that we're in the Old West, are you to carry guns?" No. Okay, that's fine then. But I think the world's finest episodes, the two episodes in the Adventures of Superman, where you get the Batman Superman crossover with Lex Luthor and the Joker, amazing, just really
no,
out
good
of
stuff.
sight.
I also like the episode of Superman the animated series where I forget what the episode was called, but it was like Bruce Wayne disappears, so Superman dresses up like Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Robin's sitting there like telling him what to do. Like he's like, "Where is blah 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 blah" to the Penguin, and he's like, "The desk. Hit the desk. Bam! Too hard."
I seem to have inadvertently popped Mr. Cobblepot's head off its neck.
That's alright. He wasn't that good of a villain anyway.
Yeah, it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yes, and yet he'll be in the third
Seriously,
Batman
dude,
movie.
umbrellas.
Who knows?
Seriously, that's it. Umbrellas.
And birds.
I've also got birds.
Whoa, wow. I wasn't afraid of the
Bumper
umbrellas,
shoots.
but when you add birds, that's terrifying.
I've got Sylvester Stallone in this closet over here. Get him, Rock.
Bumper shoots, I say. Zeke Slider, our good friend Zeke.
Indeed.
What are some of the most surprising crossovers you have ever come across in any form of entertainment? Surprising.
I was shocked when I heard that Warren Ellis was actually going to cross Planetary over with Batman.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
And the
really?
JLA and
This is kind of your
Superman.
baby. You're really going to cross Batman over with Planet? That's all right. That to me was not that it was like a weird crossover, but that I would not have expected Warren Ellis of all people to make a crossover like that.
Well, a lot of those guys like to pull the whole like, DC refused to let me do whatever I wanted with their own licensed character, and now I will boycott DC from this point on.
I can't believe they won't let me ruin their flagship character. That's shocking.
You know, back to my capitalist will do anything to flog a dollar argument as far as crossovers go is the Batman Predator crossover and the Batman Alien crossover. So it's like, really?
And
Well, you're
Superman
really
Alien.
gonna fucking do that? Because that is
There was
fucking
also
stupid.
Superman Terminator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Superman Terminator, Superman Aliens. They've done
Yeah, I
all
guess
that
they were
stuff.
just doing every
Oh, no,
combination
no, no.
they could.
Isn't it,
There was also Superman He-Man.
No, no,
Because I
no.
remember
The
Superman
Warren
Alien
Ellis,
being good.
The Warren Ellis pre-planetary Stormwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
crossover
actually,
Aliens,
it's
that's how they-
pre-authority.
Well, pre-authority. I apologize. Yes, that's how they ended Stormwatch. Was in a Stormwatch Aliens crossover.
Yes, they did. Are you
That
serious?
ended
Yeah, they
the
did.
entire series.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
that was pretty crazy.
That's what you get when you let Jim
Also
Lee have
Wildcats
that
in
much
it?
artistic
It
control.
very well may have had
Because I
Wildcats
think he
in
also
it as well.
included Wildcats in that
They-
crossover.
Like the end of Storm. That's why the Authority was such a breath of fresh air, because it was just like, my God, you guys, like, they had this great point at Stormwatch in the middle of the run where Warren Ellis took over, and it was fucking incredible. And then
And
they
then
just
the editors got a hold of it.
Yeah, then they threw in all these crossovers, and they were like,
How
Oh,
crazy
God.
how crazy to end a series on a crossover.
Yeah.
Very strange.
yeah, especially like. By the way, to all our fans out there, if you have a chance, and it's very telling that they're the only 4 easily accessible trades, but if you get any of the Warren Ellis's Stormwatch stuff, mwah, so good. Pop it
Really?
as soon as you can.
Oh, God, yeah, the Warren Ellis stuff is
so
great.
incredible.
Fan
I mean,
fans
it's the
of Warren Ellis.
it's the introduction of
If you like Authority, it's
Yeah.
really the lead up to it's
I do-
pre-Authority.
I do
it's the introduction of Jenny Sparks. You get Swift and Jack Hawksmoor as well, and it's
I
amazing.
mean, when I
Touch of
get asked,
Apollo
I
and Midnight.
really, I liked his the first 12 issues of Authority that Warren
That he
Ellis
did.
wrote.
Yeah.
I like those a lot. But then
Fantastic.
I love the next series, the next arc that Millar did. Like it's my introduction, especially because it reminded me of Miracle Man or Marvel Man so much. And then I kept reading after that, but it's like
It's
it
so
never reached
strange.
that
You know,
point.
that Millar run is actually really good.
It's
What
incredible.
happened to him?
It's one of his best things that he's ever done.
He took everything he did there and moved it over to the Ultimates.
Yeah.
And it worked for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, that guy had such a run of writing like 4 or 5 great books that all ended horribly.
Yeah.
Call him Captain Choke.
It is to cry.
Okay, now here's a question just for the Geek Bombast. And it says, list your favorite comic book movies. And I hate stuff like that, but if you guys just want to rattle off what some of your favorites are.
I like really bad comic book movies. So like Tank Girl.
Yes!
And,
Swamp Thing. Oh,
Swamp Thing, yeah.
You missed our Guilty Pleasures show
And
3 weeks ago.
I'm trying to some of the like bootlegs I found of like the Roger
Condor
Corman
Man.
Fantastic Four movie and stuff like that. I love that,
Dude, I have a friend who was at the time worked at a studio that like printed the Master, and he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I just got the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. You want me to run you a copy?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And he did. And I would just have parties where we'd come over and just watch it. It was gorgeous. And little did I realize that I would like it better than the movies they would do later. With,
Yeah.
with,
I am still
Jessica
totally
Alba.
willing for the Blu-ray to be made of that if you're out there listening, Mr. Corman.
Yeah.
And I would pay money, and I know that's why you do things. So, just letting you know.
But obviously there are the obvious answers of the Dark Knight and Road to Perdition and all the other.
Road to Perdition is an obvious answer.
Well,
I
actually,
don't know that
this
that's-
guy,
yeah.
he lists his
I
6.
in truth I read
And he
his
said,
post.
and Road Perdition is number 1.
Huh.
He's got Road to Perdition, Old Boy, because it's manga, Iron Man.
Oh, if you're gonna count that, Old Boy's pretty good.
He's got The Dark Knight at number 4 because he thought it was too long.
Well, that invalidates every other opinion you've
right.
got.
Blade 2 at number 5, and Batman Returns at number 6. Like that, to me, that invalidates it
Yeah.
as well.
I'm also a big fan of Hellboy 1 and 2.
I would say Hellboy
Seriously?
Is,
Yeah.
I
I love Hellboy.
Well, Hellboy shocked me because it's incredibly faithful to the movie, or to the book. But I didn't.
I never liked the book. You know what? I'll agree with you there, but I never cared for the book.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, see, I'm a big Hellboy.
Here's one. I mean, there's all the obvious ones. Like everybody loves Iron Man. Everybody all that kind of fun stuff. I was a really big fan of the Rocketeer growing up. Love the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
And that's comic book. So I think that's fantastic.
Ghost World was also a good one.
Oh, I thought Ghost World was great.
Yep. Ghost World's good. So I mean,
See, as a kid, I liked Dick Tracy.
Wow.
Really? I
think
you
I
take.
cannot travel with you there.
I think you take Madonna out of that movie. Maybe it's
Yeah.
pretty okay.
Well, the rest of the cast, I enjoyed them for what it was. 'Cause, I mean, the comic strip was cheesy as
Yeah,
fuck.
sure.
So I mean, oh no,
He's getting a dirty look. He's getting a dirty look.
And no, it's not even a dirty. Well, I mean,
Alright.
like the old, like Dick Tracy, I consider, but I love old Popeye, Thimble Theater,
Yeah.
EC
I
Seeger,
love the
LC
Spirit.
Seeger, and
No,
stuff like
no,
that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love the Spirit. That was funny.
Like, leave this place right now.
Wow.
You know,
How dare you insult Fearless Fosdick? Get the hell out!
Now, one guy, Tommy, says his only experience with crossovers involved reruns of The Wacky Races. And
Hey, those
this-
are
Awesome.
crossovers.
It's totally It's one like those original crossovers. But he brings up a point that something I think of, like if they were to do a movie version of it to make it like the Fast and the Furious,
Oh sure.
to go full ball to the wall with it.
Who would Vin Diesel play? Would he be Muttley?
Wachowski brothers, shut your ears
Yeah.
and step away.
Yes, because that's the thing. I was like, oh, that would be so awesome. Oh wait, they did Speed Racer.
Yes, they did.
And that's the only way they would think to do. Like somebody would try to make it a badass movie like that, and somebody else would come in and go like, no.
I would
Racer's a
love
very
it if
beautiful
somebody would
movie.
do
If you take an acid, Speed Racer is awesome.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful movie. It's not much better than that, but
I would love to see, because I mean, okay, The Watchmen is Alan Moore taking the old Charlton heroes and just fucking with them to the extreme. I would love to see somebody do that with the Hanna-Barbera characters, just to see what we would get.
Oh yeah, that would be great. And even though
I'm
it's
saying,
not
Laugh
here-
Olympics, Siege, thought of it first, send me money.
Yeah, it's funny because nobody mentioned the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a crossover in itself of all these.
And one of the
public domain
best
heroes.
crossovers, yeah.
I mean the comic.
well-written
The
comic.
movie,
As long
not
as
so
we're not
much.
talking about the movie,
Movie,
we're all right.
not
Yeah.
so much.
Not so much.
No, but I mean, what a great idea to get
It was
the
brilliant.
literary heroes
What a
of
great
the
idea to
different
take
eras.
characters you don't have to pay to use.
Yes.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah,
And
Alan
yet,
Moore, man, it's always about the money.
well, that's the thing. Is like I guess in the latest iteration they used James Bond, even though he didn't really.
Well, he's
Well,
been
in the
all of
first
them.
one,
Well, no, they used James Bond and they
yeah.
portrayed him as the horrible misogynist pussy hound that he
Well,
is.
they made him a straight out date
It was
rapist in,
fucking
in the
awesome.
newest
Yeah.
one. But it's like that's not a public domain character.
second to newest one, but yes,
Yes.
the
I'm
Black
saying,
Dossier.
like, I mean, if somebody wanted to sue him, they could kind of step in and go like, okay, you
Yeah,
step
that's
over
too
a line.
much
Yeah.
bad press for them right now. I doubt that they do it. MGM's got its own problems. They can't even
Yeah,
make the next Bond
exactly.
movie.
Is it just because they're bankrupt they can't do it?
Essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that, but yeah, essentially they're
That sucks,
putting it
man.
on
They were on
hold.
such a
They're running
roll.
out of
Everybody was waiting.
Don't
to
worry,
see.
that property will get snatched up so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
There will always be another James Bond movie.
I guess you're right. All right, you guys, I know we need to come to an end on this because it's
I-
going to be a late night, but
I did want to throw in one of my favorite crossovers just because I got here
go
late,
for
didn't
it,
have a
dude.
try, which is a TV crossover, which
Okay.
I haven't heard anybody
We
talk
love.
about, but Homicide and Law and Order.
Yeah.
Loved both of those series so much. Homicide, one of my favorite series ever, and
okay,
died
and,
an ignominious death.
Richard Belzer as Munch.
Richard Belzer, who is not only
He's the crossover king.
he has not only
Crossover
played
both those shows
he has not only played
and Law and Order.
He has been Law and Order,
X-Files.
Homicide, and there we go. He was also played the same character, Munch, John Munch, on the
That was
X-Files.
the Hollywood
seriously?
episode?
When they went to Baltimore.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. he is, and you got to hand it to Belzer because he's like, I don't have a lot of range, but I could do this well. he has shoehorned himself in to 3 major franchises. That's pretty good work, sir.
Yeah, you can't complain about that.
But those Homicide Law and Order crossovers were awesome. One of the first appearance of for from the Daily Bugle. The editor is J. Jonah Jameson, and he was played by
Oh Jesus!
that guy. We all
J.K.
know.
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Simmons, yeah.
One of the first appearances of J.K.
J.J.
Simmons, like
Yeah.
in one of his first major TV appearances, and it was awesome as playing this white supremacist.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
him on Oz. Like, no matter what he's in, even when he's J. Jonah Jameson, I cannot divorce him from
That
grease up that
racist,
one dude with
crazy-
ball bearing grease and raping him. And I keep thinking he's gonna do that to Peter Parker.
Well,
The
to
guy-
be fair,
the
J.
guy's
Jonah
gotta have
Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson would probably do that to you if he had his chance.
Yes.
rather than give you a raise. Yeah, he would. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for coming in and staying with us through this late night. And
because our normal Leog just goes on to like the next Leog.
well, yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm the one who edits it all down.
Geek
to 2.5
Bombast,
hours.
we've got stamina.
Yeah.
Guys, please take this moment to plug away.
You can check us out on our website.
Yeah, www.geekbombast.com.
Fantastic. You can also check us out on iTunes if you want to find us that way. It's much easier if you're into user friendliness. You can
find
email
us on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Got a Facebook
Yeah.
page.
We got Twitter.
We got Twitter. We don't really use the Twitter so much,
Yeah.
but we
John
have
does.
it. John does. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And then of course you can email us directly if you want to talk to us about our episodes or this episode to us. Hate mail, whatever. It's geekbombast@gmail.com.
Correct.
And and then check us out. You know.
And what's the day that the new episode goes up?
Right now, the episodes kind of go up sometime Monday.
Generally
We don't really
Monday.
have-
Okay. Well, ours is sometime Friday.
We record.
Except
We
sometime
record.
it's Saturday.
We record Sunday. We record on the weekend, and then
Uh-huh.
we post as quick as we can the next day.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's sometime
I
on
lose a
Sunday.
lot of sleep editing.
So is there going to be a special episode of the Geek Bombast with members of the Leog on it?
With the invitation is there.
We actually were talking about it. We have an opening this weekend, so if you're
Sunday's good for
interested,
me.
Somebody's just got to step up, and
What-
we'd be
what
happy to
time?
have someone on. We do it rather early. You've got to be an early bird to do our show. Generally, it's at like 11 a.m.
Oh, seriously? That's like such a perfect time for me.
We'd be happy to do it. And I'll tell you, unlike
scared me. I
unlike
was
this
like,
show,
8 a.m.?
unlike
Yeah.
this show, we do run. We can tell you'll be out of there by 12:15, 12:20.
Dude, that's beyond. I mean, I could
yeah.
even listen to This American Life and still do that.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So if you're, we'd love to have you guys on. It'd be
Yeah.
a blast.
Okay, so show it posts on Monday. Go
Posts
to,
on Monday.
geekbombast.com.
Correct.
Listen to the show. What's the subject of the next show? Because I know last week you guys
Well,
interviewed
we're
the
gonna be reviewing-
Intergalactic Nemesis guys.
We did,
That was
yes.
2 weeks ago. This last Monday we posted our Book of the Month review. We don't really have like a subject.
Book of the
Okay.
Month.
Okay.
We do part of our sponsorship with.
Comic-
Can we name our
really? 'Cause
sponsor? Is that
Yeah.
okay? ComicBreak.com is who we are sponsored by, and part of what we do is every month we pick one book. Last month it was Scott Pilgrim. This month is the Next Wave Ultimate
Agents of Hate,
Ultimate
Ultimate
Oh,
Collection.
one of my favorite books.
You
ever.
can right now go to comicbreak.com and get a massive discount on that book,
45%
like
off.
45%
It's
off
about
that book.
$19.
And I will
Whoa,
advise
Comic Break. Oh, that's
Comicbreak.com is our sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So-
will tell Leog listeners that is really arguably the best comedy superhero-based comic book ever.
Warren
It's
Ellis.
really fantastic. Warren Ellis being funny, which he doesn't do often, but when
No.
he does is really great.
Wow.
Uh,
Best villain reveal
So
ever.
every month
Yeah.
we have that meeting, or we have that book club meeting, and you buy that book at a huge discount. We take emails and your Facebook posts, and we talk about that book. That's generally the only theme
Yeah, that's
show
the
we
only
do.
thing.
Okay, all right.
Normally we do news, we do reviews, we review anything, comics,
Yeah, whatever
movies,
came out
video
that
games.
week, or if it's something new that you're playing, if it's a video game you're just getting around to playing for the first time,
Yeah.
or a trade that you just bought, maybe it's been out for
Our
months.
focus is
I gotta
more.
say, I
our
do
focus
like that
is
you guys bounce
definitely.
around to so many
It's definitely
topics.
more general pop culture. We want to kind of
Okay.
touch on as much stuff as we can in the geek realm. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, we try to dance around ourselves
Yes.
in the geek
And
realm.
now we can look at what they've done to figure out what we're
We've
gonna
done a
do the next
couple
week.
of theme episodes,
yeah,
but not
we
many.
had a TV themed episode, and
We've done a few. And then we like to do interviews and stuff. We actually, if you go to our archives, we've got a fair amount of interviews with
Yeah.
creators of local stuff and national stuff. Nick Spencer's probably our biggest interview, technically.
yeah,
Nick
biggest
Spencer
comic
writes
industry
for he
interview.
writes for Image Comics. He's doing 2 or 3 different comics with them.
Right
We've
on.
got a good hour-long interview with him on there.
Yeah.
I would suggest that the history of Leog is like a war between Leon and I, that as much as I like comics and that he likes TV shows, is me pushing for more TV and him pushing for more comics.
I would say that's similar with us a little bit. I push for more movie stuff, but John is a little more into the video games. And then there's always Mike and I's war, DC versus Marvel. Because we
kind of
constantly sit down and he's got 5 DC books and I've got 5 Marvel
3
books.
years ago, I
And
would
then
have been
I throw
on
in an
your
image.
side, Rod. And now, Mike, I'm totally with you, man. DC has made Marvel, like, Marvel's embarrassing right now.
Honestly, to me,
disagree
like
with that.
both events
I
have
disagree
like
with
made me
that.
want to read more books from.
I
both
will
companies.
agree with you that I think that Blackest Night was a stronger crossover.
It may be the strongest crossover.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
great, sure, but then look at Countdown to whatever, and then the, you know.
No, I won't judge.
52, Final
No.
Crisis.
Final
I
Crisis
agree
and
that
80th
DC has
Crisis
been
and
has
Crisis Part
DC
8,
had the
0 Hour
worst
Crisis and-
events
Yeah.
forever. Like they were terrible. And Blackest Night was kind of like
I think
that whole,
DC's
like,
strongest
let's
thing
fix
is at this
this.
point, if they give you a comic, there's a good chance you'll get 8 issues in a row where it's just about that comic.
Yeah.
And Marvel right now is not really doing that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping with Heroic Age that they begin doing that.
It
But I'm
does
telling
seem-
you right now, you're talking about Marvel being on the downfall. Maybe that's because you're just reading comics that you're not liking like Bendis. But if you're reading anything by Matt Fraction, Jonathan Hickman,
No, there's still a lot of good books coming.
Captain
Brubaker.
America's phenomenal.
I think
Brubaker, oh my God.
I think part of the problem is that the guy who's running Marvel is not really good at his job, and the guy who's running
Just
I-
wait
I
10,
disagree
just
with
wait
you
10
on a
years when
little bit.
Bendis is editor in chief.
The reason I disagree with you on
again.
that is Quesada, he's good at promotion. I mean, sure he may be, taking the books in directions you may not like, but that man has gotten people to read the book.
Say what you will about
No, I give it.
No,
that,
I agree with you.
I always say it's that whole Dark Knight paradigm. Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself be the villain. And he was the hero. Then he brought Marvel back. He was like the new Jim Shooter.
And as much as
but
I
he
hate
stuck
things
around
like-
long enough to ruin it.
Yeah, I'll always say, like, hey, McDonald's may sell more hamburgers than anybody because they're fantastic at that level of getting you to come in and buy a hamburger. But those hamburgers suck. They're fucking terrible. They've just convinced you they're good, and that's what Quesada's doing with Marvel right now in my book. I'm like, yeah, he made that company make money again, but he also made it lose a lot of the artistic integrity that it was building towards.
My big thing right now is that the character, that's always been my favorite character. I've been the closest to is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And with all the reboots within the movies.
Mike's laughing. He's like, here it comes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The movies, the comics, and the cartoons rebooting everything. It's like I'm done. I can't read this.
I will say,
So you're
I
not
will
gonna
agree
read
with you-
Omit?
Wait, hold on.
No.
I will tell you that while the Mephisto
debacle.
Yeah.
debacle's a good word, yeah, is awful. The books post that have actually been pretty decent. Spider-Man. books.
You
You
could
know
have
what?
gotten those
I read
same
some of them
books
at first
without
and
having
thought they
done
were
the
terrible.
Mephisto
And
thing.
then I read
absolutely
a
right.
few that I thought were okay. There was even like that American Sun. I actually read that whole series of American Sun because I thought, you know what, maybe. And
I
then
was
by the time it
about
was done, I
ready
was
to
like,
forgive
But you know what?
him.
There's always-
Not even forgive him. I was about ready to say, fuck it, I'm going to start reading Spider-Man again. Except Quesada, so sick and tired of hearing from everyone, and I mean everyone, every critic that exists out there, bad call, guys, about what happened, that he decided that he's going to come back in and reaffirm it with this new, well, we're going to do a flashback series about the more details about what happened. Dude, nobody likes it. It's a terrible fucking idea.
I will say though that in any comic book, and Marvel always, and I think DC to an extent always, there's always one or two titles at some point that just aren't as good as others. There was a time when Spider-Man was kicking ass, and X-Men kind of blew, and then there was a time when X-Men was pretty good and Avengers really sucked.
Well, Spider-Man was
it's ebbs
Spider-Man
and flows, man.
was starting to be at the top of its game for a while with the Bendis run, and I know it's controversial, but I really love what he did. Well, not
You mean
Bendis. I'm sorry,
Straczynski.
Straczynski.
Yeah.
I really love what he did with the other. I thought it was
And I
fantastic.
would say that you'd find a whole gaggle of people that would call you a traitor to Spider-Man, and
No,
that was the worst thing that ever
I
happened.
agree, because people don't want to see characters evolve, just like Joe Quesada. They want to see them retro. I want to see the Spider-Man when I was a kid. Well, you know what?
I think
Straczynski
that he
did
allows-
something that
I
made...
think that he
Jeff
allows.
Johns did that to some degree.
But I think he allows characters to evolve. Look at Captain America. That title is completely transformed.
Oh,
What happened?
What happened to the baby?
Which baby?
When Sharon Carter was pregnant with his baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
what
then
happened
suddenly
with
they
the-
were
what
like,
happened with
No,
this-
but I mean as a character and moving forward.
No, Quesada's entry into both those books was like, I'm tired of Spider-Man having a wife. People don't want to see that. I want to see
Yeah,
the
that's a
Spider-Man
mistake.
when I was a kid.
I will agree, that's a
you
huge
make it
mistake,
happen.
yeah.
His entry to Captain America was, fuck it, let's bring Bucky back. It's time for someone to start reading this fucking comic book. I don't care what you do.
I don't think that's true. I think that was all Brubaker.
I think that's Brubaker,
and
too.
he handled it brilliantly.
I think
Well,
you're
no,
right
no,
with
no
Spider-Man. I
question.
think Spider-Man was a huge misstep. I
Brubaker-
think you could have said, you know what? they get divorced.
Brubaker, from an
Then
artistic...
he's single, swinging around, having a good old time. People would forget about it.
Brubaker is, artistically speaking, the best superhero comic writer in the last 10 years. Financially speaking, it's Jeff Johns.
Okay.
Yeah, of sheer amount of like volume of like
John, and I will
books
say this.
that he
I will say
saved.
this. I'm not a DC guy. John's. You know he's amazing because he turned. I'm a hardcore Marvel zombie. I will read a DC book if his name's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what happened to
he's
me.
really good.
That's how I got turned to
He really
DC.
knows what he's doing with those DC characters, and they're hard characters to get a hold on. And he really has done a fantastic job.
But like I said, there's nothing wrong with reading both. But I think we've been at this
sometimes when
long
they cross
enough.
over.
It's funny because I thought this was wrapping up, and I was like
Yeah,
realizing
and
like
then
wow, we're ready to go for like
Sorry.
another hour. Or two.
Yeah.
Marvel versus DC, the war begins.
That'll be another episode. We'll do the
See,
war.
we're not used to this free flow thing that you guys got going
Right.
on, so we're kind of
You're like a hyperactive kid with a sugar rush running around.
You're always structured fascist.
yeah.
So let me just end this by our sign out. Long live the league.